Wrapped around your heart, a weapon drenched in blood. It's falling over you. There's nothing you can do. You know there's nothing angels everywhere, 'cause the righteous are the ones who disappear, inescapable. Soon you'll be back for more. Old enough to lose,
Let's get those lights up.
still you got to choose. Young enough to live for something you can't win. You know there's dropping angels everywhere,
Little game.
'cause the righteous are the ones who disappear, inescapable. Soon you'll be back for more.
It's good to see you guys. Where y'all been at?
Looking for your paradise again, but the righteous are the ones who's giving.
That's what's up.
Oh, there's dropping angels everywhere, 'cause the righteous are the ones who disappear, inescapable. Soon you'll be back for more.
Boom! What is up, turtles? Where the hell y'all been at? It's like I haven't seen you guys in days. Like I just turned my back and all of a sudden y'all just disappear and don't show up or nothing. I was about to send out people search parties looking for you. Okay, search parties looking for you tonight. Dottie Vision, we talking true crime. I know it's been a minute. It's been a hot minute since we talked any true crime, but tonight we are talking true crime. Okay, because there's been a lot of stuff coming out lately, you know, and one of those cases that I've been really into for years, and even before I had a true crime channel, I was into this case, and that was the Delphi murders. Okay, when I first got into this stuff and I was going over the summer stuff, I was already kind of into the Delphi stuff before I even had a YouTube channel that did true crime. I was already watching videos on the Delphi. I knew about Abby and Libby. I knew about the man on the bridge, that type of stuff, right? So it's crazy in true crime when you actually get your killer on video. Okay, now we know that this guy Richard Allen's been charged with the murders of Abby and Libby, which are the Delphi murders, right? So apparently there's a lot of documents that have been released, over 100 pages, and I learned a lot of new things in the Delphi case. Okay, one being that Libby's phone was actually found under her body. Okay, because nobody knew where the video recording came from. We knew they had a video of the guy on the bridge, and we knew it was taken from one of the girls' phones. Okay, well, now we found out it came from Libby's phone. She recorded 42 seconds of the video. Okay, And that video was found underneath that phone, the iPhone 6S, was found underneath her body. Okay, so that's where the police got the phone. They were able to get the video off the phone. And not only that, but it had video and audio evidence, which was girls down the hill. Remember, and for the longest time, we were looking into Keegan Kline. Remember the guy, Keegan Kline, the fat guy? He had all the inappropriate pictures on his computer, and his dad was a weirdo, and he was a weirdo. And it seems like he was the one that got them to go out to that actual train trestle that they were walking on that looked like a damn death trap. You know, even myself, Dolly, at one point I wasn't scared of anything like heights or anything like that. But they went out there, and the thing is, to drop two young girls off in the woods, it's just strange to me, but not crazy enough because they wanted to go, because we know they were catfished. Okay, now catfishing happens a lot on the internet. Dolly's even been catfished. I've talked to people for years up here and find out one day they be not even that person. Okay, so the catfishing is 100% real. And these girls were being catfished, right? And from my understanding, and this is where I'm a little bit confused. So when I open up the phone lines tonight, maybe you guys can help me out on this one. If Keegan led them girls out there, just, hey, go out to this place, meet me out here, right? Because he was this Anthony Schatz character on the internet, okay? Anthony Schatz was the profile that the police were looking for, that was tied to Abby and Libby, that they believe were the ones that led them out to the train trestle. Now, at the time, they believed that Keegan was the one that was Anthony Schatz on the internet. Now, when they made the arrest of Richard Allen, I was kind of confused. I was like, okay, this Keegan dude has nothing to do with that, but he's the one that led them there, and another person, okay, just another person walking down the trains, he just led them to where there was a killer at, which is strange. Also, I've learned the cause of death in it too. We didn't know before the cause of death. The girls were stabbed to death with some sharp object. Now, it didn't say with a knife. It just said they were stabbed, you know, they died from trauma from a sharp object. Okay, so they were literally stabbed to death with some type of instrument. I'm assuming a knife. They just didn't say a knife. Keegan was probably scouting the girls. I'm not sure 100 on this Keegan thing, but apparently Richard Allen, he gets to jail. Okay, he gets to jail like any other knucklehead. He gets on the phone and he confesses to his wife multiple times that he is responsible for the deaths of Abby and Libby. Okay, which ain't gonna look good in court. So they got the phone calls, they got it transcribed, all these things. This dude probably pretty much just hung himself. I don't think they really had a whole lot of physical evidence. They did search his house, things of that nature. But with his own confession, you might have just signed your own death warrant. But if you did it, you know, that's what he gets. Okay, stupid people do stupid crimes. Now, why he committed these crimes, I have no clue. What in your mind is going on in your mind just to go kill two girls? Now, had he done anything like this before? Because we talk about it in the Kohlberger stuff, right? In the Idaho 4 stuff. Was this his first killing? All right. Because, you know, I've always thought that Brian Kohlberger, that it wasn't his first killing, right? I believe he killed other people. Now, as far as his Richard Allen guy, was this just, hey, I'm in the middle of nowhere, there's two little girls, let me turn into Jason Voorhees, okay, all of a sudden, out of a damn horror movie. Now, when I'm in the woods by myself, that's the first thing I think about is Jason Voorhees. I don't know why that is. I don't think about bears. I don't think about wolves or any animal that could actually eat me. The first thing I think of when I get in some woods is, I hope Jason Voorhees don't jump out. And now, ain't that crazy? That is honestly the first thought in my mind. I ain't thinking, man, I hope there ain't no bears, right? Even when I was on the hill down there where Summer Wells was at, I was thinking to myself, man, I hope Jason Voorhees don't run up out these woods. I wasn't worried about nothing. I wasn't worried about nothing else. Or it could have been worse. It could have been Candace with a Jason Voorhees mask on, okay, running out. That shit would have been even worse. I'd have never went back to Tennessee. It would have been over right there before it even started. But, you know, I think people that do these heinous crimes like this Richard Allen guy, you know, he's confessed to it. That's when I think they should take you out there and tie you up to a stick and let the firing squad do the job. And look, we got the other guy, okay, you know, just there's a lot of child killers right now. We got the dude, the doorman guy that killed his 3 sons. I heard there's been so much ruckus in the jail of inmates trying to get to him that they have to extra security in the jail to protect him from people getting to him, trying to get to him in the jail. All right. Other inmates are trying to catch a charge to get him. So like it ain't even like usual. You know, it's like usually you hurt a child and people are trying to get you into jail, but apparently this is everybody in the jail is trying to get them, right? And you don't want to be in a situation like that. These child killers, right? When this Richard Allen dude, he's sitting in jail right now, he's going to have the same problem. Is you're a child killer. That in jail is not a good thing to be. In prison, that is not a good thing, because, you know, people are in prison for a lot of reasons. And then people be missing their kids. And now you up in there because you done hurt a kid. Okay. Oh, hell no. Nah, that ain't going to fly. So I don't know. We might hear about some incident where one of these dudes come up, slipped on a banana peel. Okay. Because you got to remember, some of the guards, they don't really be keeping you safe. All right. Sometimes the guards don't even like you. I had guards, I got locked up. Guard walked by and talked shit to me every night. I think he would have stabbed me if he could have, right? But the guards will put you in situations where they'll put other people around you. Or here's the thing, they may have him locked up somewhere by himself. You know, the guy that killed his kids, the doorman guy. But when you go to court, they put you in cells with everybody, like holding cells inside the court. So there's no telling. Somebody's going to end up touching that guy up in the prison. So, and then I don't even want to get into this one. This one I could talk about all night. The Summer Wells situation. Oh my God, is it heating up or what? Okay. Don has been ordered back to Tennessee. I think he's on valid probation or something's going on. He's about to go to jail. Don Wells, his ass is going to jail. He was online last night acting a fool, cussing people out, making threats, all kinds of wild cash money shit. I'm like, I don't know what's going through this man's head. But anyway, I'm going to open the phone lines up. I want to hear from you beautiful people tonight. You know, and wow, yeah, the whole Don Wells being ordered back to Tennessee is what I'm hearing. He's told a YouTuber he's been ordered back to Tennessee. Candace, they were online last night. Candace was so tore up. I mean, tore up from the floor up. I mean, and she wasn't high off the floor. I mean, she was leaned over, tore the hell up. I don't know what's going to happen in this, man, in this whole Summer Wells stuff. But wow, you know, it is really a show. Okay. I hate to say it. It's turned literally into like a TV show. Like you could literally tune into this like weekly and like be like, these people have lost their shit, you know, like drugged out, drunk as hell, and on the internet rampaging. Okay. Just on a straight rampage. Wow. So here, let me put the phone lines up. I want to hear from you beautiful people tonight. Like I said, any of these cases that I'm talking about, but the Summer Wells stuff, man, I honestly don't even know what to say, because I can't really say anything without it being really bad about the parents. Okay. At this point, it's just like the things they're doing. Oh my God. It's just, I have never seen a case of a missing kid ever whatsoever in my life where the parents did anything like Don and Candace Wells. All right, give me 1 second. I'm opening the phone lines now. Of course, the call-in number is on the screen. The phone lines are open. The call-in number is 757-797-6694. Tell me what you think about Richard Allen confessing to his wife. Is that enough evidence to convict him of these murders? All right. What about Summer Wells in the Don Wells situation, making threats? He's been ordered back to Tennessee. Is that true, or is he just broken going back to Tennessee? You never can tell when Don Wells is talking about it. You know, that's what I'm saying. You just never know with Don Wells. All right, let me refresh this. Oh, Lord. Hello, everyone. I was wondering if it was true if they were coming back anyways. Chill Billy tired of mowing their yard. Okay, he's tired of mowing their yard. Okay, I don't know what. Maybe they pay him, maybe they don't. I don't know. But it appears that they have been ordered back to Tennessee. Now, is he violated probation, and that's why he's been ordered back to Tennessee? Now, or is he even on? Dolly.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I didn't know if you could or not. I don't really know much about the Summer Wells because the father, he is such a goofball. I just can't tolerate even looking at him. What I want to know is about Cody's dad. Is that idiot out?
Yes. Yes, he's out. He was bonded out the other day. I can't believe it.
I don't understand it. I can't get that at all. I still can't get that at all.
Yeah, somebody buy Bullhorn Betty a plane ticket. Yeah, that dude needs to be locked up. You know.
So what are they going to do? He just stays out? What's the deal?
His court ain't even till fucking months and months and months away, and yeah, he's out. He just stays out. He has an ankle monitor. He can go see his kids or his daughter, or he can go to the doctor or something. Doctors and lawyers is where he can go. He's right down the street from me. I mean, literally right down the street. I could literally walk there.
So if you came across him or you came past him just by chance, what would you do?
Well, I couldn't put my hands on him because I don't want to go to jail.
I know that, but just what would you, seriously, would you say anything?
Fuck yeah, I'd say something to him. You damn straight I would. You wouldn't, he wouldn't walk past me without me saying nothing. You can believe that. I know what he looked like too.
I'd have to say something. I don't think I could hold it in. I'd have to say something.
Yeah. I don't think the people around there know he's a baby killer either. Because he's not on that side of the water anymore. He's on my side of the water, right near me.
So,
it's almost time for the neighborhood to find out they got a baby killer over there.
Well, they should know it.
Well, they don't.
They don't. Well, obviously they will now if they watch your show.
They're going to find out. They're going to find out who's in their neighborhood. Yeah, he's a baby killer. Anyway,
like
he shouldn't be out. He shouldn't be out. You know what I'm saying? He should not be out. That baby's not out.
That's why
he's not told them where that baby's at. You know, there's no body. Now they're acting like he has some big case where there's no evidence against them and shit. Your kid is missing. You were there, and the kid is gone. That's all the evidence I need. Okay, that's all the evidence I need. Somebody didn't break in the house. The kid is fucking gone. You were with the kid. You're responsible. That's how I look at it.
Regardless of whether they found a body or not, he should be in there for neglect.
I know. There's no reason in this world, in this whole entire planet, this man should be out on bond right now, and he is.
That's why I can't believe when you said that the other night. Then I trying to look, and it did come across my channel, Silent Chesterfield. I don't understand how Virginia let that happen. I don't get what's going on.
I think the only reason they gave him his bond is because they know they're getting sued. But still, even getting sued, I still wouldn't have gave him a bond.
Yeah, but I don't care. That's a double standard. It goes to show how you can sue anybody and get away with murder.
You shouldn't get away with murder. No, even though we violated his rights,
I don't care about it. He got no rights. Once he hurt a child,
I agree. I agree.
He lost his rights.
That's what I say too. I say the same thing. When he hurt them kids,
he lost all rights he had.
Yeah.
So he gets to see his other kids too.
From my understanding, he can go to and from the doctor and to the lawyer, and he's staying with his oldest daughter.
Right, but I'm saying he has other kids. Does he get to see them?
He has older kids, some older kids. Yeah, I had to track them down. You know me, I'd be doing my research.
Oh, so he gets to see them.
I guess they can go see him. He can't be around none of the young kids.
I'd be ashamed to even go.
Now, I don't know all the circumstances. I do know he can go to the doctor, and I know he can go to his lawyer. So he can leave that house. I don't like that.
See, I don't like that either. I'm glad I don't live nowhere near you live right now.
He's facing a murder charge. Okay, the death of his kid. He has an angle monitor that you could cut off with a pair of wire cutters. You don't even need a pair of bolt cutters. You can cut through that shit with a pair of sharp scissors. You know what I'm saying? And be gone.
Wow, yeah.
And be gone. And be hunting for this dude for the next 20 years. I just don't think that's right. He's a danger to the community. He's responsible for the death of a small child. What's worse than somebody that kills a child? Nothing. That's the worst. That is the worst crime you can commit in this whole world, right? If one crime you shouldn't be out of jail for is that one, the death of a child.
You know the judge that let him out? Do you know who he is?
No. I don't know what judge let him out.
Well, at least since he showed on the news. He's old. He need to retire. Should have let him out.
I can't believe
he was old.
I just can't believe
it.
I was in shock by it. I'm sure a lot of Virginia people are. I'm sure the people voices for Cody, the women that put all that stuff together for that little boy, I'm sure they can't believe it. I'm sure they're devastated by it. Because there's still events going on for this boy, and his daddy's out. And his daddy didn't put the events together.
But did you see, at least on my news, I'm sure yours, because you're right there at it. Did you see where his old uncle said, he's not guilty, he didn't do anything, you can't prove it? Did you see that?
What proof do you need? What proof do you need?
I'm just saying, you don't need any proof, but his uncle was backing, but he's the one to help get him out.
Well, yeah. Whoever put the money, whoever put that money on him, they got an answer for that.
It was the uncle.
They meet little baby Jesus.
It was the uncle, because he said, "I never believed that my nephew ever did anything wrong." That's exactly what he said.
You don't have to believe it. He did. You don't have to believe it. He can go his whole life without believing. That motherfucker's going to prison for the rest of his life.
Well, I hope so. I don't know. It kind of made me mad that he even got out. So
no, they'll put him away. I don't know what they're doing by letting him out. It's because of the lawsuit and stuff like that. But when it comes down to it, they're going to fry him. If the Virginia has to pay him, they're going to give him more time. We ain't giving up.
But if he's going to jail, why sue him? You can't do nothing. You ain't getting the money.
He'll get so long, he won't never spend it. His family might spend it, but he won't.
Oh, so that's why the uncles helped getting him out, huh?
Yeah.
He'll get some money.
Yeah.
Some money.
His rights were clearly violated. They admitted they violated his rights on the news. He's getting some money, of course. Okay. But does that not make him a baby killer? No. Because we didn't get you a lawyer. You still a baby killer. Okay. That don't change the fact of who you are. Just fact we just did some illegal shit.
That's true. I was floored when I saw him going there talking. I wanted to pull him through the damn TV. I said, that made me so mad.
And then, and here's the thing. Just weeks ago, they were sending him for a mental evaluation. Well, if he's so unstable that you got to figure out if he's crazy or not, well, let's put him on the streets. Does that make sense?
I know that. It don't make no sense.
2 weeks ago, he was at Eastern State having a mental evaluation done to see if he was stable enough to stand trial. Today, he's walking the streets. Well, he probably ain't walking. He's sitting at his daughter's house, but still, it's still effed up.
It doesn't matter. He's still in free. That makes me kind of scared to come anywhere near your area.
he ain't here in Trays, okay?
Right.
And he left that
Well,
area. He left that area because he knows he goes back out there. Somebody liable to split his wig open because people out here don't know what he's done. You know what I'm saying? When he's standing outside, they don't know that's the baby killer from the news because nobody's been out there screaming it yet. But that ain't far from happening.
Oh, I remember his face very well. I hope I don't ever run across him.
And then every time you walk outside, the neighbors are eyeing you. And trust me, around here, you never know what could happen. You know?
Really? Well, yeah. I'm just saying. I mean, she needs to. I don't know. He needs to keep his butt right in the house.
He should be scared. That's what I think. You gonna be free? You better be scared every minute you out here. You should be scared. So this is what I think.
Well, he should feel that way. It's not keep his butt in damn prison that he ain't gonna be feel scared. It's where he belongs.
Okay, here's the thing. If you went out here and raped a kid and we would know where you were at all times. You would have to register everything. Well, this dude, we should be able to know where you're at too. You know,
well, that's what I say. There should be some kind of little system
where you're at. I shouldn't have to be tracking you down. I should be knowing where you're at.
Yeah, but you know it don't work that way. It should, but it don't.
I know. But I'm just hoping, I'm praying that he gets the time when he goes to court. I just wish his court date wasn't so far away, and he's going to get this much freedom with the opportunity to run. You know, and I talk so much shit about Georgia, and look, Virginia just did it.
I know. That's what I said. That's what I was saying. We all talked about Georgia, and but then Virginia turns around and does it. Stupid idiot.
And
it makes me mad. I don't think
same shit. And me, really, what can I do? I'm in trouble from Georgia. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
so how much hell can I raise here? I can't raise a whole lot of hell here.
And plus, Virginia will stick your butt back in it. That's right. They don't want the crap here. They shouldn't have let his ass out. Excuse my French.
That's what I said. You know, don't let him out. He's a threat to the community. The community might be a threat to him. You don't know. You got a baby killer in the damn streets. It sounds like chaos to me. It sounds like chaos.
They all worried about that dollar, that almighty dollar. But you know what? Well, taxpayers, we're the ones paying that damn almighty dollar. That's what ticks me off, and his ass is out. Excuse me. What happened with your Turtle Island?
I canceled. It's going to be Tuesday this week coming up.
You go cancel them too, darling.
All right. I had the last one.
Yeah. No, because that's July the 4th.
What?
Tuesday?
We're doing Monday.
You such a trip.
I ain't got a calendar sitting in front of me. I don't know what the date is.
You didn't know July the 4th was Tuesday.
No, I didn't know that.
Well, now you know it, and I guarantee your girlfriend ain't going to let you do it on July the 4th.
Well, I mean, I don't have no big plans. What's different than July 4th, July 3rd, July 5th?
I don't know, but usually people go out and watch fireworks.
Fireworks the other night.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, some of your people might not tune in as much because they'll be doing stuff with their families.
Oh, hell no, they better be here. They know what's up.
They better be. You are so crazy. You're so silly. They might have played goofball. They be watching fireworks. You need to reschedule.
We're moving it. We're rescheduling.
That's right. Because I schooled you at July the 4th, Tuesday.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you calling and schooling me on July 4th.
All right. Hey.
All right, guys. Yeah, that is crazy. The whole Cody Bigsby being out with Corey. His daddy's Corey, which is the father of Cody. And they gave that man a bond. He bonded out with like $8,000 or something like that, or something low shit too. They gave him a low bond. It wasn't even like a crazy high bond. And they really don't have no physical evidence against him. He's not confessed to it. He's never said he killed his son or anything like that. They don't really have any physical evidence. They don't have a body. I just hope they put this man away. That shit sucks. That you can just do something with your kid, and just because nobody's seen you, there's no justice for that little boy ever. Nobody will ever be. And let's just say they find him not guilty. They can't ever try him again for it if they find his body. Once you can't be tried twice for the same crime. I don't know. That is a sad one. And it's even sadder that he's walking the streets. And, you know, because I believe this ain't a wrongful death. I don't think this was nothing to do with an accident. Okay. I think it's one of those Leilani cases where one of the kids he didn't like, and that was Cody. And it's crazy because if you look at Cody, he looks so much like him. And you look at Quentin Simon, he looked just like Leilani. How could you? It's like looking in the mirror of a way younger version and hurting yourself. But these people do it with like it's nothing. Throwing babies in the dumpsters and never found. Now I think Leilani's going to get what she has coming to her. She had diaries and books. She was talking. This dude, he hasn't said nothing. And if he gets away with it, man, that's horrible. And I hope baby Jesus slaps the shit out of him and sends him straight to hell when he gets there. You know, far as like she would say, what if I seen him? Would I say anything to him? I would. You know, I damn sure say something to him because I got bit by 1,000 mosquitoes out there looking for your son that I knew you done hurt. Like I didn't think he was. Everybody knew he had did it, right? Nobody around here was like. It's just, you know, it's like I tell people when I'm in Tennessee. When I go out searching for summer, I'm not searching for a baby that's alive. 2 years later, what's he gonna be sitting in the middle of a field talking about? Hey, Dolly, here I am. No, when I got searching, I'm searching for people that ain't here. I ain't looking for somebody alive. If I was looking for somebody alive, I'd be at somebody's house looking for them. You out in the woods looking for somebody who's been missing for a year, months at a time. You looking for a dead body at that point, you know? And I don't think Don and Candace did anything to Summer. I do think Summer's death was an accidental death, and they covered it up from neglect, though. So how accidental is neglect? Some people would say they ain't an accident at all. You neglect for enough, people will die, and that's what's happened. That's not an accident. I would say, myself, accident. You know, even though they were neglectful, I don't think they wanted her to die. You know, so I would say an accident that they had a brief moment of time to say, hey, should we do the right thing or should we do the wrong, do the wrong thing and cover this up? And I've always believed Candace chose the wrong thing. Dolly?
Yes, Dolly.
Yes.
I've been wanting to talk to you for a while about the Summer Wells case.
Yes.
First of all, I want to thank you for all that you've done for this little poor child.
Ain't no problem. Can I ask you one favor? Can you turn me down in the background? You got like an echo going.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
There we go. To start off with, I'd have had no faith in social services. I was raised in foster home.
Uh-huh.
But anybody, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know if you'll agree with me. A lot of people do. I don't have a YouTube channel. I watch you on my TV. I don't know about YouTube.
Uh-huh.
But as far as I'm concerned, anybody that has ever seen them kids or been in that house, Summer Wells is on them. Completely. I don't care who has been up there. Anybody that's been around that child and not said nothing, that's all on their hands as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, now, only thing, I've been in the house and I've seen videos of the house. Like when I went in the house, it was nothing like what I've seen on Chris McDonald's because basically the whole bottom of it was empty. There was very little furniture in it. And in the kitchen, there's like, when you go into their kitchen, there's this little kind of cubby that is like a little closet area.
Yeah.
And there were some clothes in there, but they were all bagged up. So there was very little stuff in the house. When you seen the video of Chris McDonough, it was like cluttered and where they climbed underneath the thing to get down into the basement or whatever the hell it is. That wasn't there no more. Like the counters that were there, they're not there. There's just a hole in the floor and it's just pretty much the house ain't got like hardly anything in it.
Well, you've got to remember, after little Summer went missing, people from the church and in the neighborhood went up there and cleaned and fixed their house up.
Yeah, because I heard it didn't have walls in it. It didn't have doors in it. I was
It
hearing
was
things like that, but when I went in there, it had walls and doors.
okay. You remember when that first happened? When Don said that the social workers had been there the day before. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Why did they not take them kids out of that house that night after seeing they were in the house? They seen what that house was like.
Well, I mean,
You
I
know?
agree. They went into the house. They were there because Summer was on the roof of the house and they were shooting the BB guns. I think they came out there to see if it was like immediate danger to the kids, and I guess they probably figured the kids wasn't in immediate danger. Now, is a dirty house? I mean, I guess. I mean, it depends where you're from. In the city, I would think the social service would done took your kids. In the country, in the middle of nowhere, I've seen a lot of people that live like them.
I live in Wisconsin now, but I'm originally from Kentucky. A little place called Jackson County. You ever heard of it?
Nah, not familiar with it. Not right off.
It's way back in the hills, just like in Tennessee. And I'm telling you right now, that would not fly in Kentucky. Them kids would be snatched too quick.
Yeah, I remember when I was growing up in Georgia, there's houses that were literally fucking shacks on bricks, and nobody took their kids. You know, so I've seen some like poor upbringing in my life. You know, so I've never seen, you know, so I've seen it work social services. If you're just poor, usually if you're being abused, but just being poor, they don't seem to take your kids for being poor.
There's not a shame of being poor. I was raised up, okay? It's a shame of the filth that them
Yeah,
kids
I
live.
think it was more hoarding. Now I couldn't tell how dirty the house was from Chris McDonough's video. I could just tell they had a lot of shit in it.
Well, let me ask you something. Just your opinion. You've been down there. You've been in their house, right?
Uh-huh.
Do you think that that they killed that baby?
I don't think they killed the baby, no. I don't. I mean, I just don't.
Do you think that maybe she was handed off to somebody then?
No.
No.
Candace carries regret, and there's only you can only carry regret like that, like the scars she carried. I think Candace 100% knows, and they know that I know.
Oh,
I even told them. You know what I'm saying? I told them. I said, I'm going to tell you what I think happened. And y'all covered it up. You know?
there's doubt in my mind that Candace did something to that baby. Now, I don't know if it was
Just
accident. Honestly, I think it's an accident. I think an accident happened that day.
I do too. I think something happened and she just covered it up. I mean, Candace has a personality like a kid.
Yeah.
An
Yeah.
alcoholic kid, though.
Well, she's done drugs and stuff so long, honey. Like you said on one of your shows a while back.
And then Don could be a really good con man, but sober, he's not a bad, unpleasant person. Drinking, that dude is a savage. Okay, he's like he's right out the penitentiary. As soon as he gets drinks in him.
He reminds me of my ex-husband. That's why he's an ex-husband.
Yeah, I mean, just foul, crude, rude. Don't give two F's.
He wouldn't have a chance with me. I'd smack the shit out of him.
I just know all the N-bombs he drops.
Yeah.
He's going to say that in the wrong place, and somebody's going to hurt him. Okay?
Let him get to Louisiana or Mississippi and say that word. And
yeah, he come around here and said that somebody would split his head open. You just couldn't be throwing that word around freely around. you just like he does. I'd be like, man, you just better watch who you hear say that. You know what I'm saying? Just
who was it? I don't remember whose channel I don't watch many channels. I watch you, and I watch Josh, and I watch
Well, I
Jeff.
watched some of Prayer Garden last night because I had to hear this crazy ass man and Candace over there with her broken foot acting. I mean, I just can't. What kind of drugs are they on?
Do you know that her foot is not broke? That's a lie just to get money.
I don't know what kind of thing they got going on, but she was tore. She was broke. I mean, I was like, holy shit.
She's like leaned over or something, wasn't she?
I feel bad for Candace. I feel bad that she's drinking her
I do.
life away. She's going to die at a young age. I feel bad
Yeah.
for that. And I know Candace watches me. Candace, I want you to know I feel bad for you. You know, and when you die, I'll come to your funeral, but you're going to drink yourself to death. Woman, you need help. You need to get into a rehab. You need to leave that liquor alone. Leave that.
I don't think it's just liquor. I think she's a pill popper.
I don't know if
And
she's a pill popper with it, but she's definitely a drinker. She is 100% a drinker, and if she's popping pills with it, it's going to accelerate that death. You know, and
Yeah.
she's a young lady to be looking so rough. And I ain't saying, you know, she's ugly or anything. I'm just saying she's not taking care of herself, and she's aging herself really fast.
She's not that old.
She's living in dog years. Okay.
Yeah, that's sad.
I mean, she's aging 7 to 1. You know,
I pray every night to God that somebody will find that baby and she gets justice. She is absolutely.
What makes it so bad is Candace is really a likable person. If you was to sit there and talk to Candace, she's just really a likable person. And then she's did this, right? And that's what makes it so conflicting. It's like generally, like, I wouldn't say nothing bad about Candace because I think she's a likable person. She does have them demons, whatever drug addiction or drinking, and she's covered this up. And I think honestly, if she got some help, got off the drinking, cleared her mind, and told the world the truth, she would feel better. And not only would she feel better, but she would live a lot longer. That stress, carrying these lies and all this weight on you, this burden that she's been carrying for 2 years.
Yeah.
You can see it's destroying her. You can see
it's gonna eat her up.
I know. And we're gonna watch this lady die. I mean, slowly, but it's happening right before your eyes. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to look when you drink like that, and I'm talking about you drinking a fifth a day, your liver's going to shut down, your kidneys going to shut down. Your body can't take that kind of abuse.
So sad. It really is. I feel sorry for her because I've met men like Dot. Okay.
And I'm hearing rumors now, I don't know if you've heard this, that Don and Fred Hill kind of set that whole plan in motion of the cotton guy.
I'm sure something like that was done. Yeah. I'm sure.
And it's just to muddy the water to take the eyes off of the actual people involved.
Yeah.
So
whoever it was, I honestly think the baby's dead. I don't think she's alive.
Yeah, I don't think she's alive either. I mean, I hate to say that. I know it disappoints people, but I got to be truthful with people, what I believe, and I don't believe she's here with us anymore. I haven't thought she was here with us for like shit since I started looking for her.
When they showed the top of, I've been to the top of mountains like that in Kentucky. We got them in Kentucky too. Okay. And on some of them mountains, unless you know them people or you go to, if you're just a stranger and you accident up on the house, you may not come out of that holler.
Oh yeah, I know.
They'll shoot your ass.
Oh, I know. I know all about them crazy places. I've been a lot of weird places in this world that I'll be like, oh man, I hope I don't get shot. Some of them cornfields I was walking through in Idaho and shit. Yeah. I was like, man, not cornfields, but where was that? Yeah. Was it Idaho? I can't remember what state it was. I was walking through some fields and I was just thinking, man, I could see these farmers riding by in their trucks. I was like, I hope somebody shoots me for out here trespassing. Because, different states got different laws about trespassing.
Well, I tell you what, if badass Don ever went to Louisiana or Mississippi and hoshed out that N-word, alligator would have a good snack that night.
Good snack. Well, he looks like he's in a crack hotel now. But look, hey, I appreciate you calling in and chopping it up with me.
Thank you for listening to me, Dolly. And I love you, honey.
You take it easy.
Bye.
All right, peace. Yeah, I mean, look at the hotel they're in. Okay. They're in a hotel. They're basically working so they could get tore up. And I'm sure there's people out here donating to them. Okay. Because they're, they go on the channels and they basically come up with bullshit. Well, I got only a pack of cigarettes left. Donnie spent all the money on what he wanted. You got Don Wells looking like he's cracked out his fucking mind. Okay. Last night, I hate to say it. That's what it appeared. Okay. He is effed up. You got Candace sloppy drunk. You got Don making threats. We've hearing rumors that they're being ordered back to Tennessee. Now, I don't know how true that is. I don't know the exact circumstances of Don Wells's probation. I know he violated probation. Now, I don't know if they re-gave him another year of probation or did he serve his time and his time was done? I mean, I don't really know what Don has over his head. Okay. Because he was originally on probation for a gun charge, which went down with that damn Jose, whatever it was. And he was put on probation. He got the DUI, violated his probation. He got 20 days or something like that for the DUI. And he got 11 months for the violation of probation. Okay. So usually when you violate your probation, they usually reinstate your probation the whole time. So if you had a year, all right, and you violate it, now you got another year. You got to do the year of probation without violating. So I don't know if he served his time and his probation was up or if he still has some lingering probation. Now, I do know he has reported to a probation officer before, so that gives me the impression that he has something lingering over his head. Okay. I don't know how much probation or how long of probation or how much jail time could he actually face. I don't know. But if they're ordering him back to Tennessee to go to the probation officer, that just means basically he has a probation appointment. Now, has he violated his probation any kind of way? When you go into these drugs, like if you smoke bud, okay, you would piss dirty for 30 to 60 days to your PO, probation officer. But you can go out and do these heavy drugs, these really, really bad drugs. And believe it or not, they're out of your system in like 2 days, 3 days or something like that. Some crazy number. I was like, what? And they were like, yeah, you like a crackhead can party on a Friday night and piss clean Monday. And I was like, what? They were like, yeah, that just does not stay in your system very long. The only thing that really stays with you is smoking. That shit stays with you like a herpes. You know what I'm saying? It just does. It's like quick. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So all these people are on probation doing all these drugs. In time they show up Monday, they clean. And that ain't drinking no water or nothing. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I was on probation, I must have drank 30 gallons of water. I was in the Lord like a damn water balloon walking around. Okay? Pissing every 30 seconds. Praying. The little Jesus, let me pass this shit, right? And these people are just out here just in a meth lab and can pass a piss test. I'm like, it's crazy, right? So that's why he ain't been pissing dirty. Okay? Because I'm thinking, how could they be pissing clean? Right? But then you come to find out that the drugs that they do, they only stay in your system like 2 days, 3 days at max. And you're like, something ain't right here. That ain't fair. That ain't fair to the smokers in the world that can't get a job. Okay. You telling me this crackhead can go get a job and pass clean, but I smoke, you can't? Nah. It just, what is wrong with the world? Okay. So this dude, he's going to the PO and he's pissing clean. He got to be. If he wasn't, he'd be locked up. Okay. So he's going on benders. And then when he goes to PO, he's clean. That ain't never going to get him sober. Okay. And the thing is Don didn't look super drunk last night. He looked like he was on drugs. Like he was like big-eyed. Like he was jacked up like Dolly, right? Just naturally, but he's smoking crack to do it. You know, I'm like, this dude is amped up. He was like, he was acting all weird and shit. I was just like, it's a circus. These people know where summer is. Simple as that, you know? Dolly! Hello. Not Dolly. Somebody else then. Who would you call? All right. We got the Doritos pizza, Cool Ranch. Have y'all seen that? I ain't tried it yet, but I've seen the commercial for it. It almost looked pretty good. I was like, I don't know. That might be pretty good. I had to try it. They need to be doing random drug testing. Now, I mean, the PO can randomly drug test you if they show up. But usually, you know when your PO appointment is. I always did. You know how you need to show up on the 15th. Okay, 3 o'clock. All right. I mean, you usually know. And usually in the middle of nowhere. Plus, how could the PO pop up on Don Wells? He's in damn Arkansas. Okay, he's not even in the state. Which, to leave the state when you're on probation, you got to have permission of your probation office. Okay, so he's probably went to the probation office, said, hey, I want to be working out of town for a little bit. They said, okay. And they were like, well, how long? Okay, we'll set your appointment for this date. And that date is probably coming up. That's all it is. I don't know if they ordered him back or he originally had to go back when he left. Knowing he had to go back. Like maybe he only sees the PO once a month. Okay. I got a buddy. He's on PO. He sees the PO once a month. That's it. Shows up once a month. Goes in there, pisses in a cup. Sits down with the lady. Hey, how you doing? Boom, walks out. That's it. Once a month. I just don't understand why he's staying in Tennessee for 6 weeks. What do you mean in Tennessee for 6 weeks? Guess I'm going to pull my membership because I thought you would change in your ways. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but I don't force you to be a member. But if you want to be a member, support Dolly, good way to keep me alive, hit that damn join button, okay? I don't know what you mean about changing my ways because my ways ain't changing, all right? I'm an old ass man. What, you think I'm going to change as a person? No, I'm who I am, all right? This is like, you don't want to be here, don't be here. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for the announcement, though. All right. Anybody want to go with me? Oh, no, you're going by yourself. All right. But anyway, we got killers out here, baby killers. But the good thing is, at least they're getting caught. If we can keep them from letting people go, like the Cody Bigsby, Corey situation, would be great. They give Leilani a bond. I'm going to roll over in my damn grave. Okay. They better not never give that woman a bond. I want to see no more Georgia. I mean, I got to see Georgia again, right? But once that's over, Georgia's actually a really nice place. I enjoy Savannah. The whole getting in trouble there thing kind of sucked. If I hadn't, it would have been nice. It's a nice place to visit. The city smells like piss. All right, they cleaned the city a little bit, wash the damn streets, bleach it down one time, or put in some public restrooms. I don't know what genius did the planning out there in the city, because it's a beautiful city. Savannah, it's nice. It smells like piss, straight piss. What's up, Blue-Eyed Dumpling? We love Dolly just the way he is. Thank you, Madonna. I like me just the way I am too. Okay. And I guess it's, it's whoever that was a Candace Wells and Don Wells supporter. And there ain't been a time that I have changed my story about Don and Candace Wells. I haven't. I've always thought a tragic accident happened and they covered it up. I met with them. I told them the exact same thing. I was like, I think this is what happened. Prove me wrong. And I don't think they really proved me wrong, though. They tried to explain the situation, but to me, it wasn't I still think the same thing. I left there thinking the same thing. Is there a possibility that their kid could have been kidnapped? Of course. Right? And I'm entitled to my opinion. My opinion has always stayed the same as they covered this shit up. And that's why none of it makes sense. That's why nothing adds up. The only story we know came from them. And it's some bullshit they made up. Everything on the internet is so muddy and filled with crap that nobody can even tell. Dolly reminds me of my stepdad, Ed, rest in peace. Well, rest in peace to your stepdad. Yeah, I always remind somebody of somebody. All right, but look, justice for little Libby, Abby, justice for little Cody. All right, we need some justice for the Idaho 4. I just want to see these people go to prison and sit there and rot for shit. Ever would be good, okay? At least until I'm dead and gone, right? I don't want to see none of these people free. I think whatever's going on with Don and Candace Wells, look, it takes some time. We look at the West Boys. It took them almost 5 years to finally, put who they knew did it in jail. Sometimes they did it. It just takes time. Dolly's always been Dolly. I don't get the issue. I joined because you said their house was okay. You think they had anything to do with Summers, and you don't think? I never said I don't think they have anything to do with the disappearance of Summer Wells. I've never said that. I talked to them and told them I thought they did it. Okay? I said it right there with Don, looked him in the face and said, "Little man, I think y'all covered this shit up. I don't know if your wife's being truthful to you." On the hill, standing on the hill, looking the man in the face. I mean, you're talking about on the phone, on the internet. I'm talking about on the hill, standing in the yard, looking at him. I mean, I think y'all lying. You don't believe me? Ask Don. That's what I said. I said, man, I think, Candace has covered this stuff up, that this little girl has died in that car. And he was like, you're wrong about this. You're wrong about that. And he was like, we've searched. And he showed me the videos. I'm real open about what I've seen there, my experience there. But my belief has never changed. Of course, there's a possibility that I could be wrong. I'm just my opinion, right? And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I have the right to my opinion. I have the right to change my opinion. I could wake up tomorrow and feel like they're completely innocent and they didn't have nothing to do with it, and start praising them like they Jesus. As a human being, I have the right to change my mind. I have the right to lock in one thing and say, okay, I'm pretty set in this. Or something may come up and go, well, man, maybe I was wrong about that. Maybe it's this. As a person, I have that right. I could wake up tomorrow, think they're innocent. Wake up the next day, think they're guilty. Wake up tomorrow, think, damn, Richard Allen did it. Okay. You can think whatever you want to think in this world. It's only my opinion. Okay. Everybody's opinions don't have to match. Okay. You don't have to agree with me, right? You can have a totally different opinion. That's why I put the phone line up there so we can discuss opinions. Dolly.
Hey, Dolly.
Hello.
It's Amy, the Ruby Pearl Glamper. How are you tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, Amy. How about yourself?
I'm all right. I've been inside for the last 2 days because I popped a hole in my float, my raft that I float on every day, and I thought I fixed it, and I didn't. So I got to get me a new one tomorrow.
Yeah.
Anyway, so okay, from the very beginning that Summer went missing, I never bought Candace's story. You know, the whole 20 minutes fixing mom's brace, someone comes up and kidnaps Summer out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I ain't never buy that either.
When you went to Tennessee and you talked to them, did you like get into the whole day's events with them? Does she still stick to that whole 20 minutes fixing mom's knee brace?
To be honest with you, I've had very, very limited conversation with Candace about the day
Right. I'm not
that
right.
Summer Wells went missing. Now, I had more of a longer conversation. Most of my time there, I spent talking with Don. Okay.
Right. And he's always been, the spokesperson for them.
Now, if you wanted to know more about Candace, you would have to ask PJ. PJ spent more time with Candace and sat there, and the whole time I was out hanging out with Don, she was there with Candace. So she has a little bit more understanding of Candace, and she kind of walked away from it feeling the same way as me, that, Candace is a real likable person, and that can throw you off, can throw you off a little bit because she comes off like a big kid. She's real emotional, right? She's not like Lonnie, where she's cold and dark and distant. She's not like that.
Yeah.
She has a sense of humor. She's crying. She's trying to, you know what I'm saying? She's trying to tell you. It's so different from what you see on the internet to what it is, but it still is what it is. If that makes sense. She still did these things, in my mind. Don't matter if she's likable or lovable, or if I just want to hug her and grab her cheeks. She still made it a bad decision. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And she's paying for it. I believe this. If she did cover this up, she's paying for it. Now, should she pay for it for prison, or is she paying for it with her wealth, with her health, her addiction, all of this she's suffering? Is that not punishment enough? You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, and yes, it is.
She's killing herself. She's killing herself behind it.
Exactly. And like you, I've never believed that Don or Candace deliberately killed Summer. I always believed that there was some sort of a neglectful accident, whether it was, she was hot in the car, whether, she was choking and drowning at the horse pond or whatever. But they still stick to this whole story. Summer was kidnapped. Summer was kidnapped. Summer was kidnapped. And if she was, then how can they not have any clue or any idea? Because I'll tell you all a little secret from my own past.
Well, Virginia declared, one thing we did here is they declared Cody dead. They did it pretty soon in the case too. They declared him dead. They came out and said, we believe the little boy is dead. And they eventually, now they're charging him with the murder, but there's still no body.
Right.
Why haven't they came out and said, unless, because the police have said they don't believe there's a kidnapping. Detective Pruitt believes that Summer will be found somewhere in that holler. And if that's the case, and she can't be alive in the holler, why haven't they determined that Summer Wells may not be with us if they don't believe there's a kidnapping? Because they're saying there's not a kidnapping, but they're not saying Summer's gone. And that don't make no damn sense to me. If there wasn't a kidnapping, they'd be in the woods for 2 years.
No. No, I mean, I've always felt like they believe she wandered off.
That's what I get too. And if she's wandered off, it's been 2 years. There's no way this little girl survived out there. What do you think? A pack of wolves? What, you know what I'm saying? We got to be real.
Yeah.
A little girl that age is not going to make it in the woods 2 years. She would not be with us. But the police just don't say that. I don't understand why they, if they don't think she's been kidnapped, why not rule that this little girl? I mean, there's that possibility, I guess. But I mean, the same thing would apply in Cody's case. There's a possibility Cody was kidnapped. You see what I'm saying? What if his dad ain't lying? Then that means that little kid is kidnapped.
That's true. And that's what bugs me so bad about Dawn and Candace is that, if somebody really did take Summer, then we got to get to the bottom of who would have wanted to do it.
That would be the best thing in the world that could have happened. Somebody kidnapped this kid. Okay. Because if somebody kidnapped her and they didn't kidnap her for ill reasons, that means little Summer Wells is alive. She's just somewhere being raised by somebody that shouldn't have did what they did. It would be a miracle. It would be the greatest thing ever. I would never want the little girl dead. I just live in reality that they don't believe she's been kidnapped. And if she ain't been kidnapped, she can't survive in the woods for 2 years on her own. So I just feel like, she's a little angel, and that's just my opinion. That don't make it right or make it true. It's just what I believe.
Yeah. I just, I mean, I've always had a second thought that if she was kidnapped, it was because Dawn ripped off the dope man. And a lot of people, don't believe that the dope man would go that far, but I can tell you from my own past experience, my ex-husband was involved with some bad people many, many, many years ago, and he ripped off the dope man. Uh-huh. And I had no idea until people came to me and told me about it. But these people were watching me. They were watching my little girl. They were watching the whole family. And if it hadn't have been for my ex-brother-in-law, who was camped out in the porch swing with a shotgun, these guys were parked out front of my ex-mother-in-law's house. My little girl was 5, playing out in the yard. So, I know from experience that, depending on how bad you rip the dope man off, there's nothing that they won't do.
Yeah, but
like I said, if that's the case, then
I just don't see the dope man. I'm one of those people that just don't see somebody saying, I could see them come killing you over the money. I couldn't see them come snatching your child and catching some charges over you owing them.
Don't ask me. I never dealt drugs. Bought a few drugs in my life, but never dealt drugs. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, anything is possible. I can't say that, that couldn't have happened. I just, I don't think you're a dope man. I mean, you could be right though. They'd be like, you owe me money, I'm taking your kid, but I just ain't never seen nothing like that but in a movie.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm not out buying hard drugs and dealing with people that are into super hard drugs either. So I may not be the one.
Yeah, well, my ex-husband was mixed up in a mess,
we may need to find some really bad people and ask them. I mean, that would probably be the best way to get that answer. Hey, would they do this? And if they're like, oh, hell yeah, then we know, hey, there's the possibility that, it's possible. I don't see how somebody would let you get that far in debt where they would want to come kill you though. Not Don Wells.
Well, it's not necessarily about debt. It's about stealing a load of drugs and things like that. Like there was this girl that used to come in the club that I worked at, and I knew she was a drug dealer. And I was a shooter girl, and the guy bouncers would come to me when there was a problem with the female. And they came to me one night and they said, Amy, there's a girl passed out in the bathroom. We need you to go see what the situation is.
Uh-huh.
So I go in and I find this girl, and she is face forward, pants down to her knees, like she was sitting on the toilet and fell face first over.
Uh-huh.
And I get in there and I get the bathroom cleared and I call Kevin and David and them and I'm like, we got to get her rolled over, see if she's breathing and everything. They rolled her over and I said, oh my God, that's fucking Tasha. I said, Kevin, check her pants pockets because I know she's got dope in them. He reached in her pocket and pulled out an 8-ball. We took her dope off of her, kicked her out of the club for life, and she had to hide from the dope man for a long, long time.
Oh Lord, because y'all took it out of her pocket.
Yeah, we stole a whole 8-ball from her.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, we had the legal right to take drugs off of you. If you were doing drugs in the club, we had the legal right to take it from you.
I got you. Okay. So then the dope man got mad, but they didn't come kidnap her kid.
Well, no, but I don't even really know what ended up happening after that. I just know that she had to hide from the dope man.
Yeah.
For quite a while, and she was never allowed back in our club, so she couldn't do business there either. So, and that's something like that is a huge loss.
Yeah, for her.
I don't really know what I just know my ex-husband ripped Scott off a bunch of drugs, and they were fixing to come after us. And then Scott ended up dead, actually, in a plane crash. So.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of people like when they can't get to you, they go after your family, but that's usually when they can't get to you. Like Don Wells was accessible. You could have got to him. You know what I'm saying? He was accessible.
Right.
So why would you go after his family if you could get him? Yeah,
and why take Summer? Why not one of the boys or or whatever? Those that's just really been my only thought, other than. If she wandered down the road and as many pedophiles that live in that area, one of them could have picked her up. But, we have to rely on Ronnie Lawson to do these door-to-door searches on all the people in that area.
I didn't realize how many bad people are in that holler. I was just walking around there like I own the place. I was walking around like I own the place, too. I'm kind of surprised I'm alive.
Yeah, like...
I was all up by the meth lab.
When last time I looked it up, there was like 230 of them.
And that's
and every one of them had dangerous. I'm
out there videotaping these people's houses, standing out in front of their houses with a damn camera. They running a meth lab. I'm lucky to be alive.
Exactly.
I know now. No one's half the battle.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't want to screw around out there and all that with all that crazy bunch. I don't know what the deal is that's going on with Fred Hill. I've heard a little bit. I guess he's gone to jail and now he's trying to make up a story of something that happened to Summer to try to get out of jail, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think that's working too for him. He done lost his privileges in the jail from what I'm hearing.
So is Don going to have to go back to Tennessee to jail, or is that what you were saying? You were talking about him violating probation?
He's saying that he's been ordered back by his probation officer back to Tennessee. But no reasoning why. Just maybe it's some Don Wells bullshit. Maybe it's truth. But he told another creator that he's being ordered back to Tennessee. His probation officer ordered him back to Tennessee. So
maybe they're probably getting wind of these drunken YouTube videos since he's been out.
Yeah, that's what
I don't know. I don't watch that prayer garden stuff. I just don't entertain that silly mess and critters on the farm and all. I just don't entertain that mess.
Yeah, I just listened to it last night to hear because somebody had said, he's acting crazy as shit, making threats to the lady, calling her stupid, and it's just saying crazy shit. So I went over there to listen to some of it, and he was on the phone or he was on the live, and he had Candace sitting over there, and Candace was all drunk, hanging over with a broke fucking foot or whatever, wrapped up, with a.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're on meth or if they're on crack or what drug they on, but they were definitely on something last night for sure.
Now you're gonna make me have to go watch it.
Mm-hmm. They were definitely on something. I was like, yo, they fucked up.
Cheap entertainment.
Mm-hmm. I don't usually watch it. It's really slow. It's going, it's kind of everybody they move slow over there.
Yeah.
So it's slow pace, but they still were acting crazy.
Yeah.
All right, but look, hey, I
Well,
appreciate you calling in.
Okay. Well, I just wondered, like I said, if you had a chance to talk in depth to Candace and what she had to say, or what Don had to say, if they're still, sticking with their story.
I mean, what Candace told me is basically what she's told everybody else. Nothing Candace said that day to me changed from anything else she has said. So she didn't there wasn't nothing added to it. Like she didn't add on to the story. She didn't take away from the story.
Did you ask her about allegedly leaving the hill twice?
I can't say I did. I honestly can't say I did ask her about leaving the hill twice that day. I don't even think I asked her about leaving the hill, to be honest with you. I asked her what she thought about her neighbors and Jody Sue Brown, and I asked her what she thought about Jose. Just different players in it. Did she have any enemies? I talked to her a little bit about I talked to Don a little bit about Marlena. Was there anything else I missed? I don't know. There was nothing that really, really stood out. Now there's some other things that stand out to me that I'm trying to process that don't have nothing to do with that visit, but from a conversation. And I'm still trying to put them pieces of the puzzle together. But other than that, nothing stood out to me that day, but something stood out to me another day. And I'm still just trying to process that. You know what I'm saying? I'll talk about that later. But there's something that stuck out a little bit to me, just a little tiny, tiny bit.
Okay.
All right, you be good.
All right, take care.
All right. Peace. Yeah, I mean, that wasn't the only opportunity that I got to speak to Candace was that day. I've spoke to Candace other than that day too. All right. Now I've only said that day. Y'all know I met with her, but I have spoke with Candace other times than that. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay. I've spoke with her other times. And there's some things that raised some concern in my mind. Okay. Now it could not be nothing. It could be something. It could just me be tripping, so that's why I say I'm still processing everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm still calculating math, if that makes sense. I'm still kicking it around in my damn brain. Dolly.
Hey, Dolly.
Hey.
This is Remy.
I knew it.
I'm doing all right. So I was just thinking about this Cotton guy and all of this, and I was trying to put it together. And I can imagine that, let's just say that Fred was the dealer, and he had a bunch of people that were on drugs that would stay at his house, and hang out and stuff. And let's say that one of them did spot Summer,
Possible.
and let's say that one of them was like a pedo, and let's say that they were up there and they'd had their eye on Summer, and they were getting high or whatever, and they walked through the mountain, because maybe they're local, maybe they live on Beach Creek or something, and they walked the back to the mountain. And let's just say that Summer went out, and Candace maybe wasn't even outside fixing the knee brace. We don't know. Maybe she was inside. We don't know. And they did grab Summer, and they took her through the woods.
Then it makes Candace a liar.
Right.
Okay, because one, Candace, if you look at the dog trail, to take her down that dog trail, and Candace was sitting outside, she can see the dog trail. So you would have to kidnap the baby in front of Candace.
I know, but see, you literally stopped me before I could get
Because
to that part.
I don't want you to to get into some shit that.
No,
Here's the thing: their story is the dogs led down the dog trail from the camper, and I promise you this: if you're sitting outside the camper, you can see the dog trail. So somebody ran up in front of Candace, ran into the house, grabbed Summer, ran down the trail in front of Candace, but Candace didn't see it. I ain't buying that shit.
Okay. Now, so as I was saying, Dolly, I can see all of that being possible. But once they get to the wood line, that's where I was going to say
Without
it
Summer
does
kicking and
it
screaming. Not only did he
now.
kidnap her in front of her, but she didn't make a fucking sound while she was being kidnapped in front of her mother.
Right, but you also have to remember the footprints that were found and the scent, and it's
There
in the
was no.
opposite.
There was one footprint found that they don't even know if it was Summers in another farmer's yard, allegedly. But there's no tracks up to the footprint. Okay, there's no footprints. They didn't find no footprints leaving the house. They didn't find anybody else's footprints. They didn't find Summers' footprints leaving the house.
No, the scent alert. I'm sorry, the scent alert. But
The
guess
scent
what?
sent them down the dog trail, which Candace could see.
Well, there was one above that, but
The
it's on the
damn dog trail
opposite side.
sits 15 feet from the camper.
Right, but what I'm saying is, someone said that a neighbor back when all of this happened said that the dog alerted up on the ridge above their house, but it would have been like in the opposite direction, so that they couldn't have took Summer down the dog trail and then went on the main road to get to the opposite side of the mountain. You know what I'm saying? Like, if she was took from the right, how did the
mullet
footprints
must have
get to the left?
the mullet could have been in her eyes, like Neil said. What I'm saying, if her story was truthful, then the kidnapping abduction theory couldn't have happened the way they're saying it happened. Because if she was sitting
Right,
outside with Landis, you would see somebody come up, and not only that, but you would see him leave. And not only that, some of that shit's grabbing you when you walk around out there. You can hear it.
right. But what I'm doing is I personally think that I think that Candace and Dawn absolutely know what happened, especially Candace. But what I do, because I don't hate the Wells or not hate the Wells,
Bingo,
whatever.
right there.
Just whatever. I'm just saying. I'm not saying this is real. I'm just saying. I'm trying to put their story together to
I believe
try to
Brenda. You
get.
see what Brenda says on Candace took a nap and left Summer in the truck. That's what I believe. Also,
Yeah, something like that. But I'm trying to make it out to see if it's even possible. You know, and I can't get to that point. Like, once they go to the wood line, they could have grabbed her and took her to the wood line. But after that, nothing makes sense. I can't put with the footprints and the scents and alerts
I
and the
mean,
trails. Like,
somebody could have been out there and somebody could have seen her. They could have seen her. They know
Right.
Candace was in there fucked up or something. They went up there. They kidnapped her. I mean, it is possible. I ain't gonna say it's completely possible.
But you got to rule the scent completely out, and like where the dog's alerted.
I just think there's a lot of effery involved in the very beginning, like when people start signing non-disclosure agreements and things like that in a missing kid case, and you got weird people inserting themselves, and it's just, I don't know, it's the strangest case I've ever seen as far as a missing person. I can't think of no other missing person case that's anything like this.
And then I go back to, I'm sorry if I get off topic, my mind is everywhere with this case, but okay, like if she were to have passed on the property, when they did bring the cadavering dogs up there, would they?
I mean, I don't know how fast a cadaver dog will hit on you if you just die. I think you have to decompose a little bit for a cadaver dog to be able to smell you, I would think.
I mean, I don't know. I
don't know. I don't know too much about cadaver dogs, but I would think you would have to smell dead. If you're freshly dead and somebody gets you out of there, you're not going to smell of death. You don't stink as soon as you die.
Yeah, I hear things from different channels and stuff. Like Michelle Watts, I think she's really big into like dogs and stuff like that, and she says that you start the cadavering process at like 18 seconds or something like. So I don't know. I guess it's really just different. But
I mean, most people when they die, they release bodily fluids. But if you don't defecate, I guess if you've already used the bathroom or something and you don't, I guess there would be. That's not a smell of death. Okay, that is a smell of piss and shit. So death of decay would take a little longer to set in. I don't think it would be 18 seconds.
Okay.
But she does always walk them damn dogs, so maybe she knows more about dogs than me. I don't know.
Yeah. But one more thing, and
think about this. hold on. Let's go into the cadaver dogs. I'm glad you brought that
Okay.
up. Brian Laundrie, cadaver dogs walked right past him, pissed on his body, fucking played frisbee over him, and didn't sniff him out.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And he was really like torn all up.
yeah,
know?
you couldn't get no more dead deceased than that. You know what I'm saying? It seems like they would have found his bones to chew on. The hell no, they walked past him shit 1,000 times, didn't even wag a tail.
Exactly. And plus he was like obviously way bigger and a lot more. Ooh.
Yeah,
Wow.
and they didn't
Yeah,
smell
that's
his.
the
Right?
biggest
You
one.
probably could have smelled him to police. I don't know how they didn't smell his ass. He's laying
Okay.
dead 6 feet from the path.
I hate to say this, and I understand why people don't bring it up or anything, but I've always, because I'm a mama of all boys, and I know how rough they can be. Even at like 12
If
years
the
old,
boys
people
did
think that
something
12
to
year
her,
olds are
I
like,
thought that too for a
they're like
little while.
12-year-olds. They're just like these little innocent creatures. My boys, when they were 12, and the other one was like 15, 12, all the way down to
But
like
if the
even
boys did
9.
it, don't you think one of the boys would tell on the other boy?
Maybe not with something like that,
I thought the same thing too, because they were all in the house playing the video games. What if she went in there bothering them and they pushed her, she hit her head or something, and then Don and Candace covered it up because the boys accidentally did it.
Like when we were little, it was all boy neighborhood kids. There was 13 of us. They were all boys.
But I
And
don't
there
want to put that
wasn't
on the
just like
boys.
pushing.
Maybe.
I mean, we're talking. They used to hit each other with metal baseball bats. I mean, it was like rough. Like boys can be like if they don't want to play with you, they will just push you down the stairs.
Like Hunter, she says she has a whole tribe of girls and they're rough as shit. And she got a little
boys
army
can
of kids, a
be.
whole football team.
Yeah. Yeah, that boys can be, and they're strong too at like 11, 12 years old. Real, like my little boy just turned 6 years old, and I swear I can't hold him down. He's stronger than me, and he's 6 years old. Like they're strong at like that, that age. So sometimes I think of that, and maybe, I would definitely, no, I don't know. Honestly, that's a hard question. I couldn't cover. If one of my boys did something to one of my little one, oh man.
I mean, as a parent, what do you do about a situation? I mean, you love all your kids, but what if one kid
Oh
does
my
do something
God.
horrible to another kid? What do you do as a parent?
I
So I only
know
got one kid. I ain't got to worry about that.
imagine having to, like, because I got 3, so I'm at like, man, that's dang.
What if you came
That's,
home and
ooh.
just and the little one of your kids that did something tragic to one of your other kids? How would you handle it as a parent? You wouldn't even want to think about it. I wouldn't even want to think about that. That would be
I know I
pretty
would,
bad.
man. Oh man, that's.
And what if it is
like,
Don and Candace covering for the boys? That'd be some shit there.
Man, that would be rough. I can't even imagine if they really did like cover for the boys and they're covering this hard and lost them. And
Yeah,
the
but
boys
even
being
if the
quiet,
boys, let's just say the boys did do it, they're so young that they wouldn't put the boys in prison forever if they killed your little sister because they're kids, they wouldn't put them in prison forever. So why would they cover for them?
And the only reason, and the only reason I even bring the little boys up is not to say that they did or whatever, but I think of everything. But also because I don't know if that was real or not, if it was made up, that thing that Benny had, where it was like what they took, the search items, and it was like a little boy's pair of jeans, a little boy's shirt, a little boy's, and I was like, I think it was like size 11.
I mean, I can believe it because, look, if you're there, you're a suspect. It don't really matter about the age. We've seen kids in this world, young as 6 years old, commit heinous crimes. Talking about stabbing, shootings, things that you can't even believe at 6 years old. It's almost hard to even believe that a kid could do something like that, and it happens. I
live in the real world.
I don't think the boys had anything to do with it, but
right.
There is a possibility. They're a suspect just like anybody else because you're there,
right.
So you got to rule them out. And we really can't rule them out because we don't know what the hell they said. We ain't got no control of the boys.
Like a lot of YouTubers, they're like, no, the boys are off limits, and they're like, they're little and young, and these little kids, like, and I'm like living in the real world.
But these little boys won't be little forever, and they're going to eventually come out and speak on it. You can believe that. It's all over the internet, and every kid has the internet. So when the time these boys hit 18, you can believe one of them's going to come out and speak.
Oh yeah, but then again,
changing the subject back to Hunter, his thing was a little sketchy too. And then, of course, Fred Hill bringing up this new
I
guy.
think
Like,
Candace
why?
told Hunter.
Something was going on with Hunter. Acted a little sketchy in his
Hunter,
interview.
I don't think Hunter has nothing to do with it, but I do think Candace, when she went back over there, she told Hunter, because he said something about at the basketball court that she said that that Summer was missing. And he was like, what do you mean missing? She was like, she's just gone. But
Yeah.
I think he told her then that whatever she did, that she was dead.
Because didn't they have to like interview Hunter like 7 or 8 times?
I don't know. The police don't share shit. I think when a case gets cold, that they should share the information they got. I don't think they should hold anything back from the public, because you could give a tip to the public that leads to some answers, but without giving anything, we don't know what they have.
What do you think about Fred and his story? And what do you think about Fred being arrested and it's Laura, his girlfriend, and then Dudley, and then
I think it's all drug addicts in the holler. I don't think it has really. I think they're all dysfunctional. They all live a life of crime and drugs, but I don't really think it has anything to do with it. To be dead honest, I just think that something tragic happened and they covered it up. They didn't tell anybody, and I think everybody in the holler knows that they did it.
Okay.
I don't think.
And why do you think the PO is calling Dawn and then back to Tennessee? Why do you think that would be?
I mean, I have no clue. I don't know too much about his probation situation, but here's the thing: with all these trolls out here, you got to believe that they're sending stuff to his PO.
Mm-hmm.
When he gets out here drunk and he's making a fool of himself, and you can believe that somebody's clipping that shit and sending that to his PO. He got haters. I mean, the Wells got some supporters, but they got a lot of people that believe they are guilty, and they don't want to see nothing but the demise of Don and Candace Wells.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Okay, and one more question I want to know your opinion on is, why do you think Fred brought this up? What do you think his
To get money out of Ziggy.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, he wanted some money. I guarantee you Ziggy sent him money.
Yeah, she said she did. I mean, like $20 or something.
Well, $20 is better than no bucks when you're sitting in jail. I'll tell you a story too for $20. What story you want to hear?
But would you, like, if you were in jail, would you insert yourself into something this serious?
If I was sitting there broke with no money on my canteen and I could get $20 from you to tell you some fucking crazy story, yeah, I'll tell you a crazy story. I need chips. You know what I'm saying? I'm hungry over here. Feed a brother. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I get why.
I just think they're all guilty.
I get why he's inserting himself. He needed money, and he's like, yeah, I'll give you an interview. So can you hook me up with a little bit of this and a little bit of that? And then he's like, well, let me tell them some story, and then they'll want to hear more. And then boom, next thing you know, you got Ziggy on the line for $20 a week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just a hustle.
It's just so, because I looked up his name, the biscuit or butter, Cotton? Yeah, Cotton. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm locked up. I'll tell you, I know who murdered anybody for the right amount of money. I'll be like, yeah, this person did it. I'll tell you I'll come up with some story.
I went to his Facebook page, and it looks like he created an account, Cotton, in October of 2021. And I just found it weird that his profile picture, the main timeline photo, was that of a waterfall. I thought that was a little weird. But he didn't post anything. He just created the account, put the waterfall picture up there, and he didn't do anything with the account after that. That was in October of 2021. But, man, I don't know at this point. Like, my mind is on, I don't know. Like, if someone asks me what's my theory, I have no theory, because I blame everyone. Like, I could kind of see. They should
drop a nuclear bomb on the damn holler.
Yeah.
Let's just say fucking blow them out and the whole hill.
I mean, if they haven't done anything yet, they're guilty of it. They will eventually do something, really bad anyway. So let's just do away with that.
I'm just waiting for the day that Don Wells, when he runs out of people to blame, he starts blaming aliens. Okay? It's coming, because he's done blamed everybody in the holler.
I think he already has.
Has he said aliens?
I swear. I think he absolutely said it. I don't know if he said it in a joking way or if he, that religion that he's in, I don't know, what they believe or whatever, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that he actually did say that. But let's just pray that something. Do you think that something soon will? Because not everyone, but a lot of other YouTubers are thinking that something's getting ready to happen, and I am not getting my hopes up this time. It's happened too many times. I get my hopes up, and then nothing happens.
No, I think they got away with it.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, I hate to say that. I hate to say that, but I do. I believe that dysfunctional as they are, I think anywhere else, maybe they wouldn't have got away with it. But where they were at, location, timing, the stars and the moon, it just somehow worked out in their favor.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if they haven't made an arrest now, they'll never make an arrest. Don and Candace go. I don't think they will ever be arrested for the death of their child.
What about? I hate to change the subject so fast, but I have just so much with this case. What do you think of Ronnie Lawson saying in the email that he hopes to have something to update us with in the near future? Because I was thinking more than likely the update will be, we're still working.
Okay, you ever heard that saying, hope in one hand and shit in the other one and see which one fills up faster?
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, I'm just not going to get my hopes up at all,
I mean, so I hope to have $1 million one day. You know what I'm saying? I hope that the world lives in perfect harmony. But that ain't going to happen.
Harmony, that's a whole...
They didn't have nothing. The last update they had was, we ain't got nothing, is what they said. We ain't got nothing. I come, Pruitt, I think he's actually an intelligent guy. And he seems like he's trying. He's like, I come in every morning. I go through all the tip line messages. I listen to everyone. If anything's credible, I go check it. And he basically says we got nothing. And nothing in police words mean they got nothing.
Okay. And one final question. When do you think, when let's just say, because we probably know that there's not going to be any arrests or any updates at all for, who knows, probably forever. Because I only say that. I don't want everyone to think that I'm just this down person. But, I've been following this case like a lot of others for like 2 years. And I've had my hopes up so high, and I've really believed, that it's getting ready to happen and things are like happening, and then it doesn't. And that's happened to me so many times that I'm not going to be fooled. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just going to not get my hopes up again.
Okay.
But
I want to answer this question that's on the screen. Let's think about this. If the parents did something this summer, why would they call the police right away and then have to hurry to hide her? That would make no sense. Here's the thing. We don't know how long they had to hide Summer. We don't know what time Summer. See, people were like, "Oh, she must have died here," and then no, because she got home about 3. They had hours. We don't know exactly how much time.
3 hours.
Yeah, because if she got home, she was at the water park at 12 something, and then they were 1 something. They were there, and then so they were back in the holler by 3. And then remember, Jody Sue Brown kept saying she came down the holler. It was what, 6:35 to be exact, or something like that.
I mean, like if I was,
that's 3.5 hours. So it ain't like you had to rush. We don't know the time frame of how long they had to do what. What if she pulled up in the back seat and Summer was dead, and the whole Granda story's a lie? You know what I'm saying? We don't really know the time frame. The only time frame we have really is legitimate time frame is when TBI, they said that they have confirmed that Summer Wells was alive on that day. The confirmation came from videos, which is either the Sonic or the Walgreens that sits right there by Warriors Path. We know that because they came out and said that. That's fact. That's from the police. That ain't internet. They have confirmed Titans of her alive that day.
Right.
So that establishes a little bit of a time frame right there. Okay, so you can start the clock right there. She was there. She was alive.
Well, the picture too, of the gallon milk jug picture. It was on the phone, and Candace showed us the time. I think it was like 2:09 or something.
The phones, you can change timestamps or when you upload things. I don't know, but they confirmed that she was alive that day. The TBI.
Right.
So if they made it back to the house, they had hours to do whatever transpired because they didn't call the police to 6 o'clock. And you could say, well, why did they call the police at all? Why did Corey Bigsby call the police? His son been gone. He killed his son 7 months ago. Why did he call the police that day? I mean, you're dealing with people that are drug addicts and alcoholics. They're definitely not right in the head. Okay. So, I mean, it can
Right.
be explained, I think, easily the time frame, we're dealing with people that are not the most honest people. We can say that they're not. They're alcoholics and they're on drugs and their stories change. So I would say, we don't really know the time frame.
Right. Well, I'm just looking at like if it was me and I need to dispose of a body and it was a body, it was dead in the day. I would definitely wait till nightfall, and I would definitely wait for my significant other, a man.
Yeah, but you
Like
got to
tell
remember, Candace, when her sister went missing, she knows there's going to be a full scale search. She knows it already. She's lived this. She's been through
that
it.
would make me wait
Okay,
till
so if
night.
you know there's going to be a full scale search, there's hundreds of people about going to send on that hill and start hand to hand
I would get
walking.
that body out of that hill.
You would get
That's
the
what I
body out the hill. That's right.
right.
So we do know she did leave the hill. Okay. She left the hill. Why did she leave the hill? Was she just out looking for summer? Blah, blah, blah.
I would bury the body.
So I would
put
give it, I would say in a time frame of 3 hours or 3 to 4 hours, whatever transpired in that block. Okay. From the time she touched back down on Ben Hill Road to the time the police were called, we have a 3 or 4 hour span. And let me tell you this, I
3
can
hours.
in an hour, you can be 100 miles. In 2 hours, you could be back. So you could be, all she had to do was get that baby out the holler. That's it.
Yeah.
And see, here's my thing is why I think she's still in the holler and just not.
Why would she do it at daylight?
Because here's the thing. I don't think she hit the main road. Wherever Summer is, and I hate to say this because they may be listening, she's in that area because if you had a body in the car, you're not going to get on the main road. You're going to stay in the cut, right? So are you going to jump out in the middle of traffic and throw a fucking body out and dig a hole? No, you're going to have to do it in the cut. And the only where is the cut is Ben Hill. If you come off of Ben Hill, now you're in a major area where there's a Dollar General, there's heavy fucking traffic, there's people. You're going to stay in that holler.
I wouldn't stay at Ben Hill. No,
I don't think she's right there on Ben Hill, but I do believe she's somewhere off of Beach Creek.
Yeah, I would have definitely left out of Beach Creek. There's all kinds of little hollows and stuff, around.
Because Beach Creek is so long and it's in the cut. It's all in the back. There's houses afar between. There's barns. There's pull offs. There's areas that take you up into the mountains.
Like if someone, if they did do this, because I look at everything, do you think that like they take the shovel or, did they just like leave her there?
Okay. Look, I was watching Unsolved Mysteries last night. Okay. Because I'm just. So they were talking about this girl. She was murdered. And they knew the guy killed her, and they knew that he was on the farm. The only problem was he owned 150 acres. Okay.
All right.
So, but there was a clue that she was buried under a pile of rocks. So they get a search group together. They go out there. They get there, and there's piles of rocks fucking everywhere. Right. So they get out there. They search for a week straight. Right. I mean, a week.
Right.
They're just searching and searching and searching till they finally give up the search. Right. They can't find her. They got the guy in jail that murdered her. Right. They go to him and they tell him, this is what they tell the guy. And this is no lie. They say, if you tell us where the body is at, we will charge you with 3rd-degree murder and give you 7 years in prison.
What?
Yes. He confesses, says he murders her, leads them right to the body, right? Look, he pulls up into the driveway, points out a pile of rocks right where they were all parked. Everybody was congregated, everything. The whole time she was right there underneath a pile of rocks, right in front of fucking all of them.
Yeah.
He wasn't even buried. She was just under the rocks. Just barely shallow. He threw rocks on top of her.
That's like I saw on like the
He was like, start looking right there. And the dude moved 3 rocks and her body was right there. They had been out there searching for weeks.
But you know, like that reminds me of all the episodes of like Disappeared and stuff, and the ones that they usually find later. Like I go back and look, and they literally are in the exact same place that they searched
Matter of
for
fact,
years. They keep
the
searching.
guy that did it, I believe he's out of prison right now.
Wow.
Yeah, because
Do
this
you
you
think
know how
there's
Unsolved
any?
Mysteries is kind of old. No, it was
Yeah.
Unsolved Mysteries. And no, it's Cold Case Files because it was a cold case.
Okay.
So she had been missing for 13 years. Okay. And then finally they were trying to blame her husband, and it was her father-in-law that killed her.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because this is why he said he killed her. She was going to leave, and he said, are you going to come back like a normal person and be a mom, or are you going to continue to go out and be a bar whore?
Mm-hmm.
And she turned around and she said, fuck you. And he bludgeoned her in the head with something and
This
killed her.
sounds very familiar.
But
How do you
that's
come
what
up
it was
with it?
over. He said, are you going to go out and be a bar whore, or you going to come home and take care of the kids like a normal woman? And she turned around and said, F you. And he hit her upside the head with something. So the father-in-law killed her, and the son almost went to prison for it.
Okay. Yeah, I think I watched that. It sounds really
But the son
familiar.
eventually called his dad, and his, just like in the damn Delphi shit, the dad confessed on the phone that he did it.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Wow.
even with that, they still had to offer him a deal, and he got 7 years, but he let him right to the body.
Golly gosh. God, 7 years. That's
7 years. Murdered a girl in cold blood, got 7 years.
wow. Well, do you think that there's any possibility at all? Like, I know that there's always a possibility, but do you think there's any high possibility or even medium possibility that Summer did just wander and sneak away in the mountains and got lost? And
Yes. I mean, it's
they didn't find
possible. I can't say it.
because I thought of that a lot too, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that definitely could be, a scenario. But at this point, she ain't out there alive.
No. Oh, no. And, you know, if that did happen, then there may never be closure because there will not be arrest and we will never know until like someone like maybe 80 years down the road will, like, you know how they get new stuff and a jogger will be,
Yeah.
going to jog an area up there that they put in like 40 years from now and they'll find it. But
yeah, but how long do small bones last? You know?
I mean, with all the animals and stuff and
this ain't like a full-grown man's bones out there disintegrating. This is a small child, 40-pound-year-old child. So,
oh my gosh,
time animals get the bone, there might not be. She could be in little tiny pieces, scattered. You know, that's how animals do.
Terrible.
And at this point, with animals and stuff, even the bones may not be recognizable as human bone. You know what I'm saying? Because hunters, when you got to woods, you'll see bones and shit. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to tell it's a person's bones. If it's just a little tiny piece of bone, it just looks like a little tiny piece of bone. You can't tell if it's animal bone or people bone, or unless you're a fucking bone expert. But how many bone experts did we got walking through the woods?
Yeah. Man, that's so sad.
But look, Remy, I appreciate you calling.
Okay, well, oh wait, I was gonna ask you that one more question. When do you think that the YouTube people will finally let the case go, since there's like nothing happening, or do you think this will go on forever, like literally just
I think it's actually more going on right now than there's been in a while, so I'm surprised it hasn't really ramped up, especially with the way Don and Candace have been acting. I don't know.
It's still doing well though.
I just pray that they find her, dead or alive. I pray they find her. Yeah, because I would like to have some closure to it for myself.
Yeah, I need to move on. I think we all do. Like,
yeah, I think it would be good for everybody, to be dead honest with you. But the internet's not going to let it go. Every little new thing or every rumor that comes out is always going to be put out because there's an interest for it. Because I want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? And so does a lot of other people. So I guess there's anytime anybody puts anything out, I mean, I don't see it dying down. And I don't really think you want it to. The more her name's out there, the better. If she is alive, the more she's out there, the better.
I mean, I would say this is true for you and for probably everybody watching. I have thought of summer at least one time a day, if not more, every single solitary day for 2 years. That can't be healthy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that we're all going to like have some PTSD from this case. You know what I'm saying? Like thinking, creating,
Yeah.
and listening to it, and like I don't know if I can stop. Like, would I
I've been
ever
trying
even
to
be able to
separate
stop thinking?
myself. I've been trying to separate myself and not think about it as much as I first did. Because
Right.
when I first got into it, it was every day. It was everything. I was waking up, checking to see if there's any news, any information. I don't do that now. So I know I'm slowly backing away from it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not checking on it all the
Right.
time. I just try to keep up with the important things in it, and not every, like, before I gotta watch everybody keep up with it. Now I don't do that shit. I just
Well,
pray
see, my
that they find some answers and there's some closure, so we don't have to do this forever. Because there's other people that need attention. There's plenty of people out there we can be talking about.
like my little boy, he's a year younger than Summer, but he has like, the short hair like Summer and blue eyes and blonde hair. And so I'm like, every time I look at him, I think of Summer. So I think I will never stop. I think that Summer is now a part of all of us. In a way, Summer will always live on through
Well,
all
she
of us.
definitely made a big impact in the true crime community here on YouTube.
Yeah,
I think she'll live
absolutely.
forever here for sure.
Absolutely.
Big deal, big deal. Like I tell this to people, like the reason to spread the word is some people are like, oh, it's like kicking a dead horse. No, because look, the true crime community knows who Summer Wells. Of course, everybody in here knows who Summer Wells is. There's 700 people in here. I'm sure there's not one single soul in here don't know who Summer Wells
Yeah.
is. But that's because we're all in this community. You
Yeah.
step outside this community, people don't know who Summer Wells is. And that's why it's important to continue to spread the message of Summer Wells to new people and
Yeah.
on your Facebooks and your social media, because maybe you got friends up there that ain't into true crime. But that if she is alive, which I believe would be a miracle, that's why it's so important. Me, I think she's
Oh,
gone and the parents need to be in jail, but that's a whole different story.
I can't. To be completely honest with you, I know logically that it sounds insane. But in my heart and my mind, maybe it's because I don't want to think that she's gone. I don't feel that she's gone. Like I know it's weird, but like but then again, I didn't feel that Michael was gone because I was really close to Michael and Monkey, and I still don't feel Michael's gone. I think he's alive, and I think Summer's alive. Like I don't know, I have a really hard time feeling that and really believing that. Like if I find out that she really is gone, like really she's gone, because I really truly don't feel that she is. Logically, I know that she probably is, and that's why if I find that out, I'm going to be in total shock. I will actually then be able to mourn,
Yeah.
like
All right,
I just
Remy.
don't.
You been
Okay,
good.
bye, dog.
All right, peace.
Bye.
All right, Remy came with a lot tonight, didn't she? She was yeah, I mean, I hope there's some answers. And I think no.
Dolly?
Yes.
Hey, it's Janie from Missouri.
Hey, Jamie.
Hey, I just wanted to give a couple of my ideas.
Okay.
I feel like there's been a lot of manipulation in the case. And when you try to take all those manipulations away and go with the most likely, I feel like they're probably telling the truth. I think Candace might be not a good judge of time.
Mhm.
Like when she went back in the house, she probably didn't immediately check on Summer, because when you're at home, your kids are safe, and it's probably common for Summer to go downstairs and play. And so she probably did housework and did laundry, and it was probably a lot longer than she estimates. And at some point, Summer did get out, and something.
Well, I mean, her
Whether she
story
went down
was
to the-
they went outside, right? And she
Right.
was planting flowers with Summer. Well, cactuses. They were planting cactuses in
Mhm.
pots, and she sent Summer back into the house. Now, the trailer set beside the house. Okay. The back
Mhm.
door of it sits facing the dog trail. The dog trail is immediately when you come out the back door of their house, the bottom floor, I guess, whatever the hell that is, the basement, dungeon, whatever you want to call it. Right directly in front of off to the left a little bit, it's the dog trail. Now, when you at the trailer, you can't see the back door. Where the trailer would have been, you can't see the back door. But what you can see is that damn dog trail. Somebody would have had to go right in front of you to take your kid down that dog trail. Okay, so you're sitting at this trailer, Candace, right? That sits directly almost in front of the fucking dog trail. These people come up, kidnap your kid, and take the kid right in front of you down the dog trail. That don't make sense to me.
No, and I don't think
Now,
that
if
it
they
happened
left,
while she was outside.
then something. I ain't saying somebody that couldn't have kidnapped this. Candace ain't telling them a truthful story.
Yeah, there's something she's got to be not telling, and I don't think it's necessarily
Was she
something
in
she
the
did to
trailer
her.
going pills with Grandis, maybe? And she
No,
couldn't
she might have
see?
just been gone longer than she's saying, or it may have happened while she was already at home in the house. Because when you're at home, you're doing housework. You think your kid's either outside
This woman
playing
ain't
on the
doing no
swing,
housework.
or
This woman ain't doing no
well,
housework.
I think she said she was doing laundry or something.
Okay.
Seems like there was something like that. So assuming that, but if not, I could be wrong. But I'm just saying there's probably time discrepancies. The only other thing that I can think of without adding in all the made up stories is another made up story, obviously. But maybe Candace was doing something she can't tell Dawn she was doing, and she wasn't actually there. And maybe, maybe she was messing around and she was gone for a little bit. Yeah. And she's gone for a little bit, and the boys are at home. They don't know any difference.
I mean, that's more believable than what she said. I mean, if you're sitting in front of the damn dog, I would have believed.
At some point, Summer goes outside. She might have been headed to Jody Stu's to see if Mom's over there, and somebody grabbed her.
I don't know.
Who knows? I just think it's important to take all the manipulations out, everything you can think of that has been manipulated by people that don't know them people from Adam.
Yeah, I would.
It's easy to judge, but
I agree with that. It's just there's little things that don't add up in their story, and like I said, like the dog trail thing don't add up to me, because if Candace is telling the truth, then she should have been where she could see that dog trail. That means somebody, if what you're saying is these people kidnapped your kid and ran down the dog trail with your kid, you were sitting in a location you could physically see the dog trail.
Only if she knew somebody was going to come and kidnap her kid. It could have happened after she was already inside.
Oh, so you saying when she went back in on the first floor,
right.
Summer comes out the bottom floor and somebody snatches. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, that's
right.
absolutely
Candace goes in, she goes about her business, whatever she does at
that
home,
ain't what she said. I mean,
right? Because people are so judgmental, you've got to say, "Oh, I checked on her immediately," because people are really fake and act like you're such a terrible person.
A fucking hour later, when she realized, oh, where's yeah.
Because realistically, when you're at home and your kid's in the bedroom, they're fine. You think they are, because we do this every day, right? They go to the bedroom and play, or even out on the swing. When you live out in the country, you don't worry that much.
What about the scream Jody Sue Brown heard?
Well, she might have heard a scream.
I believe Jody Sue Brown. I don't believe nothing else she says, but I believe Jody Sue did hear a scream that day.
I do too. And so there was a scream, in my opinion, because she said there was the first thing right out of the gate.
Yeah, she wasn't a YouTuber yet. She wasn't corrupted by the almighty super chat or nothing. She said, oh, there's a scream. That's what makes me believe it. Everything after that, she said, I don't believe none of it. Not a drop, right? Not even close, right? But that first, she gave it to the interview with the news, and she didn't know no YouTubers, and she wasn't in this world of evil that's YouTube. She was believable. But once you become a YouTuber, you don't believe shit a YouTuber says. Not even that. Can't believe it. Can't believe that shit for a minute.
Yeah, I believe she heard a scream, but I agree. I don't believe anything else. Well, maybe a few things, but I can see her manipulating and lying because she's been manipulated and
She said
impressed upon by others.
what she told me one night was this: not only she heard the scream, right, but she heard it with her daughter. Her daughter was with her, and her daughter's younger, and her daughter, according to her, her daughter heard multiple screams.
Yeah.
Jody Sue Brown says she only heard one scream. But when I spoke with Jody Sue Brown on the phone, she was like, yeah, my daughter, she could still, like, her daughter could still hear it. She couldn't, but her daughter could still hear kind of some more screaming going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the first scream was loud, and the second screaming was just maybe somebody screaming something out that wasn't as loud as the first initial scream. But Jody Sue Brown heard the first initial scream, and then she said her daughter heard some screaming afterwards.
Yeah. Well, kids have really a lot better hearing, so I believe her daughter.
Jody Sue Brown, when I talked to her that night, said she heard the scream come from their house. She didn't even say that in the news, but she told me that night. She said she heard the scream came from the house. And like, it's weird because when you're at the bottom of the hollow, you can't see shit. But when you get up on the top at Don's house, you can see everything out there. It's weird. It's like, but when you down there, you can't see shit. You can't even see the house. But up there, you got a good view of everything. You can see Jody Sue Brown's or her driveway because she got a long ass driveway.
Yeah. Well, see, since she decided she heard it from their house later, I call bullcrap, because if a child would have disappeared from another house around there, she would have said, I heard that scream from that house. She's only saying that because she knows something happened.
Yeah.
She really probably didn't know at the time where the scream come from, or obviously she would have done something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you only got a couple neighbors and you hear a scream, you gotta kind of assume it's coming from.
It comes from one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
yeah. I believe in taking out all the things that have manipulated it and start right back at the beginning.
Just with what the police said, they have confirmation she was alive at that time from the Sonics or that. That's what I say too. The only real information is what the police put out there. Everything that's on YouTube, I think, is tainted everything.
Yeah, because they've all been manipulated by something or somebody.
And,
another thing.
The only thing good YouTube that has done, I think, is shown us who the parents are. Like, we got to see who the parents are, what kind of people they are.
Yeah.
So you're not just judging so blindly. You get to see that these ain't the best people, you know? And I think that's why they get people talk so bad about them. You don't usually hear people talk bad about the parents of missing kids really bad, like you do Don and Candace.
Well,
but Don and Candace put themselves up here to show people how terrible of people they are. And I think that's why they're being like lynched up like they are. The internet's going after them so bad is because, hey, we seen you're just not the best people, you know?
Yeah. Well, sadly, I think who they are is the majority. People would be really surprised that the majority of people are pretty normal and have problems, you know, like that. And I know, you know, because I know a lot of poor people.
I know a lot of poor people, but they, you know, just because you're poor don't mean you got to make terrible decisions. And like,
that is true.
Not reporting the death of your child, I think that is a terrible decision to make, you know. And right. I'm just going to, I
agree.
If I'm wrong, if one day it comes out that I'm wrong, I'll be the first person to go to Don and Candace and apologize to them and say, hey man, I'm sorry. I thought y'all did something bad. But no time I've ever thought that Don and Candace would kill their kid. I don't think they're that type of people from meeting them. They just don't, I didn't get that vibe from them. And I'm a vibe person. Now,
I don't get
when they cover some shit up, they kind of look like they would cover some shit up.
With everybody attacking them, who wouldn't be trying to cover up? I mean, I'd cover up if I.
Well, I mean, if you did something terrible, you'd be trying to cover it up too. I mean, if I was in their situation, which I wouldn't be because I would have made the right move. Something happened to my kid, I would have called the police. I would have called to try to get help. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't.
And I really think they have.
I'd have been too crushed to like go bury my kid. I couldn't have never. I couldn't do that.
Well, see,
I couldn't
I
do
don't
it.
think they
I
could
couldn't
have.
do it. I'd be crying. They would have to get me out the crazy hospital. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, yeah.
So
And you know, you were talking about the dog thing earlier. When a person dies, they put off a pheromone, and you don't have to like go to the bathroom or anything. You put off a pheromone.
instant.
So if there would have, yes,
I
and
didn't know that. I
if
didn't know that.
yes, and the dogs can pick it up. So if she would have died there anywhere, then dogs would have picked up death, and they could have signaled it.
Yeah, but what about
So,
the laundry?
so
Day?
you know she did not die there.
I don't know about them dogs. I don't have too much faith in them dogs. After the Brian Laundry stuff, I was just like, oh, the hell with those dogs. Okay. I could be wrong. It could be, they had a bad day. Them dogs were having a bad week. I
Yeah.
just chalk it up to that. But I mean, they were literally walking by this dead ass dude, and like the
Yeah.
dog didn't even wag a tail, didn't bark, didn't skip, didn't sit and roll over, nothing. So
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Yeah.
but
Well, let's see. Was there anything else I wanted to? Oh,
now if it would have
you
been
know
the
how
dogs
when they
hazard,
first,
I would say 100% it's legit. Flat.
there you go, there you go. And that story, how dispatch first came out with the parent went on a run.
Yeah,
I
Candace
can.
is running.
I worked in EMS my whole life, and I can tell you exactly what happened there. She told them she ran to mom. They don't have any idea mom's just right there, or they mistaked ran for literally running,
Yeah,
went for a run, and that's how that came out, because I've seen that happen so many times.
but I don't think Candace is the one that called the police. I think Don called.
Yeah, he might have said, well, she ran to her mom, or whatever.
I
A
think
lot of these
initially,
things are just common.
how come the 911 calls never came out?
I don't know. Makes you wonder. I don't think
Who?
it would.
I mean, I thought it was
until-
Don Wells that called the police. I thought Candace called Don. Don called the police. That's right? Am I right? Am I wrong, chat room?
I think they hung up because he told her to call the police, to call 911, and I think they both ended up calling.
But she called him first, right? Am I right about that?
Yes.
She called Don. Don told one of them two didn't decide to call the police. But I know the first phone call was to Don.
Yeah.
See, I think at that point, I don't even think I would call my significant other. I would have just called the police. Soon as Summer was gone. I think taking time to call Don would take away from the important time of my kid missing or something.
At first, you automatically assume they're around there somewhere. You just got to find them.
Okay, 911 calls
So you're not
released.
So you're not going to call. That's what I kind of thought too.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you first realize she's not here, so she's gone down the trail or she's gone in the woods, you're going to look for her first, because you don't just call.
And you know what I thought too is, listen, I think Summer has went out to that shed a bunch of times. That banner I put up is on that shed, because here's one thing that, and I'll just tell y'all this. I've been kicking around this in my mind. There's some other things too I ain't talked about. But when Don first got off work, and the first place he went to search was that shed. Okay. Not only that, but the boys were down there searching that shed. Why? Why is that the first place everybody went? You know why? Because Summer had went to that shed before. That is exactly right. Right? It only makes sense. And I've been kicking this down around in my head. Now, if Summer had then went down to that shed,
Or she had been wanting to, and they knew it.
Beach Creek is a busy road, and you can see the shed clear as fucking day. That's why I put the banner on it, right? So people could see it.
Right.
So if Summer's out there and somebody's seen her, she's literally at an abandoned building with a field. Serial killer paradise. Okay. Jason Voorhees would, like, he won the lottery. Okay. It's like that type of conditions. Nobody around. I mean, like Delphi, the dude was walking down the tracks in the middle of nowhere, seeing two little girls, and he just killed them. That dude didn't even lead those girls there. They just happened to be there and he was there.
Right.
You know, so killers see people in positions where, hey, I can kill you. Sometimes they kill you.
Yeah, and there's so many. Apparently, there's a lot of people around there, you know, that
There
are sex
are these
offenders
people
and
too
in
that
danger of that.
people that think about killing people but never do it, and then they just see this opportunity, you know, and they're like, oh, I want to, this is the perfect opportunity I've been waiting for, and the next thing you know, they act on it.
Yeah.
Like even the Richard Allen
Yeah,
guy,
or
you
she.
don't know if he ever killed anybody before. He might have just been walking down them tracks and seen them little girls and go, oh, I'm gonna kill these little girls. It might have been just like that
Sure.
that type of thinking, like not deep thinking,
Right.
not just fuck it, I'm gonna kill them.
Right.
Sometimes logic,
Or she could
people's
have gotten
minds
in the
work
road.
like that. It ain't no, there's nothing to it. Crazy people do crazy shit because they're crazy.
Or she could have gotten in the road and somebody might have accidentally hit her and freaked out and took
Yeah, but
her
I would
and
think
got rid of it.
if somebody hit her, there'd be skid marks, there'd be blood, there'd be things of that
Right.
nature,
I think, right. And I think the dogs
buzzards.
would have picked that up too. Yeah.
But that shed, everybody went to that shed first. And the only reason I could think in a million years of why everybody went there first is Summer, when she gets out of that house, she goes to that shed.
Yeah. Or they have to really watch her because she's always trying to go to that shed or something.
Because the boys
like
went there. Don left. The first place he checked was the shed on the bottom of the hill. Why? That don't.
Or the boys may even play in there too. They
They-
may have all played in there.
If the kid's been kidnapped, it's because that kid went to that damn shed. And Don and them don't want to say that, right? That Summer had been getting out and going down to that shed, and that she's been doing it unattended. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. That is something to do with it. I was standing there looking at that shit from the top of the hill, and I was just kicking things around in my mind. I was just like, why did they go to the shed? Like, well, you didn't check nothing else first. You didn't come to the house. You didn't check the outbuildings. You didn't check under the house. You didn't check none of this shit. Your first thought was to go down the street to the shed.
Right. So that was probably a common place that she either
For her
went
to
to.
go. Yep.
Yeah. Or she had often tried to go to and they had to tell her to get back here or something. Yeah. I agree.
Okay, hold on.
Well, I'll get off here.
All right, you be good.
All right. Thanks.
All right, peace. Bullhorn Betty says, oh, and I did confirm with Don's PO that he has been ordered back to Tennessee. That's not a rumor. I personally confirmed this with his PO. Okay, Bullhorn Betty, what can you clarify? Maybe do you know how long he's on probation? Anything like that? Like, and what is if they order him, has he violated probation? Now they order, because I know people have been sending them, because I just know they've been sending them videos of him drugged out and shit to their pee. I know people have. I just know I haven't. I wouldn't do nothing like that. There's two things I don't wish on people, and that's jail and death. But if you kill a baby, I will wish jail on you, right? I will. I wish the hell out of it on you. And I usually do that on people. I don't wish jail and death, but baby killing, I want your ass locked up. All right. I want you to deep as you can get, and I would be the one to pull the fucking switch on you. Just know that. Darling.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey. So so his PO, the way the whole thing went is he was actually ordered from his PO like a week or so ago, maybe.
Is it the one, buddy?
Yeah. Oh,
You
sorry.
see-
Hi, guys.
You sound different.
Oh, do I? I don't know why.
Okay, same laugh, but you sound different. You got a cold? You sick? Anything?
No, I'm
Oh,
awake.
Okay. Maybe I just
Maybe it's
ain't heard
just
your
your
voice
ear.
in a while. I just ain't heard you in a while.
Maybe you just need to clear out that earwax.
Maybe. I don't know. It's just, you sounded different. I'm usually great with a voice. Like, is this the Betty? Okay,
Yeah.
so you done called this man's PO?
Yeah, I called the man's
What he
PO because
was? Like, what up, PO? How you doing?
Well, it wasn't kind of like that. I called up there and I'm like, hi, this is so-and-so from Florida, and I got some information that I need to speak to Mr. So-and-so about related to Don Wells. And And she basically told me that his PO would probably not be interested in the information, that he's already got Don Wells coming back, and Don Wells will be there. That's basically what she said. So it is confirmed that the PO has been ordered to come back. That Don's been ordered to come back, but this is not his first requirement back here, and this is where it gets a little kind of a little funny, because the probation officer has already ordered Don Wells to come back and do a urinalysis. He already did that. He already dropped the urine. And then all of a sudden,
if he's smoking crack, it's on your system for 3 days. I just learned that.
Right. But they may have found something, or there may be something going on, because now his PO is making him come back again this soon. He hasn't seen his PO this much in I don't know how long, and all of a sudden his PO is making him drop a urinalysis and making him come back again.
Yeah, because he's appearing on the internet like he's on drugs. I mean, I'm sure that's what it is. They're seeing this.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's exactly what it is too. And not only that, but you can tell by the lady I spoke to on the phone, it doesn't sound like I was the first one to call. So
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They probably getting blown up about it, and yeah, I mean, okay, so even if they violated him, let's just say they violated his probation, how long longer? He did 11 months of his time.
Well, we have to think about this. He was already on probation when he got the DUI. So he was on probation, and what gave him that 6 months in jail is the violation of probation. I don't think it cured the probation. I think he just had to go to jail because he violated it. I think once he got out, he was still required to be
on probation.
Yeah. So I don't know how long he's going to be on probation for, but he's definitely on probation, and this is his second request to come back in less than a month. So it may be a violation.
How do you know that this is the second time they requested him to come back?
Because Don Wells himself had already discussed openly about how he had to come back and do a urinalysis.
They're going to violate him.
With it being this close, I think something's brewing. Yeah.
Yeah, if they just piss tested him and they're calling him back again, they're going to violate him.
Yeah.
So,
and then we got to also take into consideration the comment that was made on News Nation by the sheriff. He said that he wasn't willing to give an interview, that he would be giving an update in the near future. Now we're hearing about this. We don't know. I mean, is it together? Is it separate? It could be implied both ways. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, is it something that's going to lead to them saying, hey, they're going to come out and say they're going to charge the parents and the disciplinarians of someone? I don't think it's going to lead to that. I think it might lead to Don Wells. I think it might lead to Don Wells going back to jail for a little bit, though.
Mm-hmm.
And that just puts Candace out there. That might save Candace's life, because damn, Don's an enabler. He's definitely because he knows this woman is drinking herself to death every night. And he's too busy getting high he's just watching this lady. They're just killing themselves. But
wasn't Candace drinking heavily still, even after Don went to jail? I mean, this is not really him doing it, right? Like she even when he's not there, she's doing drugs and drinking herself to death.
The only time I've ever seen these people sober is when I was there in person. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm seeing them on the internet. Last night, I've never seen them that tore up. Whatever was on last night with him. I mean, he was making threats, going off, acting like, I don't know.
When he's under the influence, he's definitely when he's sober, he's very docile. But whenever he's drinking, he's very violent. I mean, I can't even tell you how many times he's called me in the middle of the night, drunker than a skunk, calling me every freaking name in the book for no reason. Like, I didn't even call him. All of a sudden,
I ain't even messed with you this week.
Right. And the phone will be, ringing, and I'll see Don Wells' name on it, and I'll pick it up. Oh, you fucking C and you B. And
well, I thought he got along. I thought he got along with Prayer Garden. I heard he was going off on her and everything last night.
He goes off on anybody. He has no friends, because you never know when he's going to explode. You could be having a great conversation with him and just say one thing wrong, and it triggers him so bad that he just just stops what he's talking about and just goes off and starts cussing everybody out. You know, I've talked to Don and told him that, you know, if you're trying to change your image, you know, but you can't keep doing this. And that's why I wouldn't interview him and why I wouldn't have anything to do, because he wouldn't listen.
Now, when you called the PO, what did you initially call the PO for? To see if he had.
Well, it was basically a fishing expedition. I just called up there to see if I could get the email of the probation officer to see, just so I could send these videos of Don to him.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically just, you know, that was the way I was trying to confirm that, one, he was on probation, and two, they called him back. And so by using that, they were able to say, no, we're not interested in the videos. However, the PO has already called him to come back in. So
I hate to be in a situation where everybody on the internet was calling my fucking PO. That got to suck. That got to totally just suck.
But, you know, it really wasn't like, I really didn't have anything for the PO. It was just basically using something to confirm that, you know, some information.
I mean, why don't he just just get fucked up and not be on the internet? Why does he got to get fucked up on the internet? Like, why can't he just get fucked up when he ain't on the internet?
The last 2 years, the internet's what's been supporting his drug and alcohol problem.
I know. I noticed that too. And
that's why he's on the internet. That's why his butt won't get up and go to work.
It ain't if it was just Don, I don't think nobody would give Don much. I think everybody feels sorry for Candace.
I don't know why. She was the one with Summer the entire day.
I know. But I think the reason people tend to give them stuff is because of Summer. I mean, because of Candace.
Yeah,
they feel sorry.
I can't do it. Well, I can't give them shit.
Candace would be like, you know, I ain't got no cigarettes. I'm struggling. Don doesn't spend all the money. And people be like, oh, man, poor Candace. Here's some money.
Yeah, but she never tells them that she's right there next to him doing everything that he's buying with the money.
I don't know if I don't think they party together. And they might.
Yes, they do.
I don't know. I think Candace is a drunk, and I think Don is like a crackhead.
No, she's on the drugs too.
And drink.
Candace has been on meth since her first set of children.
You think so?
Absolutely. It was confirmed back with her first set of children. She was on heavy drugs.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not an expert in it, but she don't seem real methy to me.
She is absolutely strung. I mean, she
ain't like on the meth around this neighborhood then, because the meth is around here on a whole nother zombie level. They're on some.
Yeah, no, she's very violent too. You got to remember when we had the interviews with the neighbors, them talking about how violent Candace is. Yeah, Candace will.
I just didn't see a bunch. I mean, I heard she tried to shoot the social services and things. You know, I don't know, like, far as like want to fight.
You realize like normal people don't do that, Dolly. You're right. I mean, like you probably had, you know, social services at some point in your, you know, child's life at some point, and a lot of parents have. And I'm sorry, many of us don't point our guns at the social services. Social worker.
Be like, yo, you come fuck with my kids, be last kids you mess with. You know what I'm saying? You better worry about your house and not my house. I get
we got some crazy people.
I mean, it's a dangerous job, and but you know, you gotta have people out there because kids are in bad situations, you know.
Yeah, but
so you gotta be that brave ass person.
Yeah, we have some crazy subs, but none of our subs are accused of pointing a freaking gun at a social worker.
I don't know yet. Maybe they are. I don't know. I've heard some crazy stories.
You might like that mullet, and that mullet might be a magic mullet, but I think if you rub that mullet, your hand's gonna fall off. That's just my opinion.
Well, if he puts her on the hood of the car, they might be more aerodynamic getting back to Tennessee to hurry up and get their ass that court. So Don Wells can go to jail, because that's what it sounds like. They ain't gonna keep calling you back in there unless they got a reason to call you in there.
It's definitely something is brewing. But I didn't want people thinking it was a rumor. I mean, I did personally. I personally called myself, and he is on probation, and they have ordered him to come back to Tennessee a second time.
And I'm sure damn JLR is hiding in the bushes at the damn probation officer somewhere right now with a clipboard.
He probably is. He's probably waiting for that perfect angle of Don Wells walking into the house.
Oh man, I can only imagine. That would be like a fucking nightmare. All right,
I got it.
Don
don't forget, if the people are watching Idaho 4, I got a huge doc pack in. I did some. I pulled a bunch of records, and I'm
Uh-huh.
going to be dropping a few videos today that nobody's seen. I just dropped one yesterday of a,
On the
you
Idaho
know,
4?
yeah, of Ethan being pulled over. Talk about a sweet boy. I mean, that kid. Oh, I can't believe he put this out there. I'm like, why? Because he's a responsible young man, and it just makes me almost sadder watching it because all those kids were so beautiful. They were just so sweet. They were so kind, and it upsets me to think that the goodness was taken. They seem like all four of them would have done amazing.
Well, they're
stuff.
going for the death penalty on Kohlberger, so he's going to get
Thank
executed
God.
for it. He's going to die.
If they execute him.
They'll execute him. They've been speeding things up a little bit lately with the executions.
Yeah.
You know?
Hopefully.
So hopefully it won't take 20 years. They'll get his ass out of there in a good 10.
Nah, it'll still be 20.
Yeah, that's probably how it works. But as long as he
Yeah.
goes, as long as he goes.
Yep. You know what I was thinking though, Dolly? If it was 30 years, you're going to be like 1 foot on a banana peel and 1 foot in a grave by the time he's going to be going around for execution. I just thought about that. You're going to be an old man. Like you already older than dirt. You're going to be.
I mean, I'm old. Yeah, you're right. I might be here for his execution. If they get him at 15, I'll make it. Okay.
We'll make it.
And I'll be there for the party to watch him go. All right. I know there'll be a celebration. There's always a party at the prison when they execute somebody.
Yeah, and then we'll have another Brian Koberger mom writing a letter about how horrible we are, of despicable people cheering on the fact that are
celebrating somebody's death. Yeah, I mean, I celebrate the deaths of monsters. I don't know what other people do, but when you take out a monster, hey, you just saved a lot of people. Because that dude for sure was going to kill other people if he didn't kill anybody else.
On that notice, I like the last line of that last number 5, and it says of the notice to seek the death penalty. It's stated right there that he has a propensity for murder, and that basically they believe he will murder again if he's not executed.
I believe so too.
I do too.
Yeah, some of these people, it's just I don't think people, once they become a monster, I don't think you can come back from being that. I think once that killing's in you, it's like a pit bull that gets a taste for blood.
Yep.
It's just going to keep biting. It's going to keep doing it. And most people that do go out and kill people, they don't stop killing people. It becomes easier and easier for them to kill people. And they don't never stop until they get caught. Because
it's a compulsion. It's an obsession. I mean, it's something. And I know there's a lot of people out there that follow us that have had some sort of drug addiction in the past, that yearning, that longing, almost that Jones, so to speak, for that hit or whatever it is. You've got, it's the same for these people that have these addictions to murder and mayhem and blood and all this other stuff. It's that need, that compulsion, that obsession to do it. So you got to think of it like a horrible addiction, because
most of these people in their mind have done it thousands of times. They might only have done it once in real life, but in their mind, they've done this thousands of times. So like Kohlberger, he killed people in his mind thousands of times.
Isn't it creepy that he's been at that house 12 times unbeknownst to them?
Well, we don't know if it's completely unbeknownst to them, because they could be framing this man.
Oh, give me a break.
Just saying, he might be innocent.
You know what? This day and age, I just want people to realize that the optics, the idea that officers are just going to pick some random dude that they never heard of before. They're just going to go flip through some picture magazines and say,
what did that girl planted the evidence?
Well, I guess you'd have to get close enough to Kohlberger to plant evidence, and we know he's a loner.
No, what if she knew him? We know there's a connection. What if she knew him? What if she stole the knife case? She left the knife case there. She kills all her friends. Okay. Then she waits 8 hours, invites other people over there to clean up the crime scene. Then she calls the police.
So Dylan is the murderer with the knife in the library?
In the library with the candlestick. Okay. My biggest thing is this. Okay, say I was in the house. We're all in an Airbnb. You in one Betty. Somebody's in another room. them. Somebody's in another room, and I'm in this room. Okay, and Jason Voorhees comes in the house, and he's
Mhm.
chopped up everybody in the house. I hear him in the next room chopping you up. Right. I open the door. He walks by me, goes out the back door. Okay. You know the first thing I'm going to do?
Check on my roommates.
No, I'm going to lock the fucking back door. Okay.
Yeah,
So if he
that's
can't
another
get back
thing
in
I
the
said.
house, I'm probably going
Yep.
to, so he can't get back in the house. Before I call the police, before I do anything, I'm going to make sure this dude can't get back in the house. Okay. I'm not going to go, oh, a killer just walked by me with a bloody knife in his hand. Let me just leave the house unlocked so another killer can come in and kill me next. Okay. It don't make sense.
And we know that probable cause affidavit is not everything. It was only enough information to get the arrest warrant, and you made a valid point.
Who's shoe
You
print?
made a valid the shoe print, and the fact that Dylan Mortensen could have very well saw him walking out with a knife, and they removed that detail from the statement because it wasn't necessary at the time to get the warrant.
I mean, I think he's guilty as shit. I'm just messing with you, but you know what I'm saying? I'm just throwing out.
A lot of people do.
I'm just throwing out the points that are like, okay, you could argue, like, okay, there's things in there don't add up. They waited real long to call the police. Why is that? Could she have planted stuff in the house? Does she know this man? Does she have access to any of his things?
Yeah.
Okay. Because what ties him to that house is that knife. There's video. Nuh-uh, because there's video too. Right? There's video from, ain't there red light cams where they seen him turning?
There's red light cams, but there was 2 houses right in the immediate area that had Ring doorbell camera type things.
Yeah, so we really don't know what they got on camera far as yet. That probably will come out in court though.
Yes, but we do definitely know that I know for a fact there is a perfect angle of the front of the house. That's how the Gonzalez were able to find out when Maddie and Kaylee arrived home. And we know that there's one on the back side of the house that's right outside of Deanna Kernodle's room. So there's 2 different cameras that we know of.
So there's a camera on their house?
Yeah, pretty much.
I didn't know that. There's a camera on the Idaho 4's house. I mean,
not attached to their house. There's a house like right over to the front and over to the side, but the back door of that house is just feet from the side of the King Road house.
Yeah, so they had no security at the house.
No, they had no security at the house, but there was a security camera on the adjacent house pointing at their house.
Oh, okay. All right. Huh.
It may not have been pointing at their house, but it was in close proximity that it could pick up noise.
I don't know. I just want to hear why they waited so long to call the police. That's just my biggest thing in it. But I think he's guilty. I think they got the right person. Yeah. I mean, when you look at him, if they don't got the right person, he looks like they got the right person. He looks like a killer. He looks like he could do it. He does.
And not only that, but we have the history. He has all the makeups that we're looking for somebody like this. The history of there was trauma in his childhood. You had this huge behavioral change, from the junior to senior year in high school. You had the drug element, the disappointment element. You've got the socially awkward behavior. I mean, everything that we're looking for in somebody that would carry out a crime like this, he does fit to a T.
Yeah. And my thing is, though, is considering the and not to try to defend the man, the severity of the crime, the amount of blood it would have been, it seems like they would have found blood all over his clothes, all over the car, all over everywhere, but didn't seem to be the case. Like, what, did they take a few hairs and like things of that nature? And we don't know if any of that ties to him. So the only thing we do know is the DNA was on the sheath.
Right. And so that also.
But I was watching a thing on OJ's lawyers, and he said one of the easiest things to beat in court is 2 things. And I thought this would be the hardest thing to beat. He said DNA evidence, because you can go back to the lab that's done that evidence and you can show mistakes that they've done in other things, and you start pointing out their average and mistakes, and this could be a mistake in a lab. He said that shit's easy to argue. He said eyewitness testimony is easy to beat because you could put 10 people in a room and commit a crime, and all 10 people will say something different happened. So he's saying that eyewitnesses and DNA, that ain't the biggest deal. He said it's the little things that are going to hang him. The circumstantial evidence that he can't explain is going to get a jury to convict him.
I agree. It usually is. It usually is. And not only that, but this also comes back to the framing process. If the FBI wanted to frame Brian Koberger, this is just my opinion, just to kind of clear this area out, they would have done a better job at planting evidence. They would have made sure that evidence was also planted at his house, his work, his office, his car. So the lack of
they would have
evidence,
had more on him. If they were going to set him up, it'd be a slam dunk.
it would be a slam dunk. It wouldn't be this obscured, little spot on a sheath laying next to a victim's body. To explain the DNA, the way I'm explaining it, for me, that to understand it, is we do have to realize, and we all know, that Brian Koberger is meticulous. He would have had everything planned out at this point. He didn't, he was there. This was his 11th time going to this house. He was not unfamiliar with the property at this point. He had this planned out. When we watched the mock-up of this, him coming into the neighborhood an hour early, some of the movements that he made show an excitement and nervousness about him. And then he comes back and commits this crime. He would have had a plan. He would have had a plan to, either tape off his whole car with plastic wrap or something, or he would have walked out that door and undressed right there in the parking lot and put fresh clothes on and stuck it in a plastic bag. There would have been a number of things that he would have done to, help prevent some of that blood transfer. But then in the alternative, he also had an additional 6 weeks to clean up prior to law enforcement, making him.
Yeah. And, they made a big deal about when he got there, he cleaned the car. He probably cleaned that car 30 times before he ever got to Pennsylvania. I mean, I would have cleaned it the very next day or that night.
He probably did.
That's what I'd be thinking. And then maybe he just fine-tuned it, kept cleaning it. I don't know. But if you're doing all that with surgical gloves on and all that stuff, maybe he just made that one mistake, that snap.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that just did him in.
What about the fact that, he was a criminology major? He had an access card. He was a TA. What parts of that school did he truly have access to? Could he have pulled the car into one of the bays and cleaned it out at school? I mean, we don't know. It never came up, but it could be probable.
And how long before he would have killed again?
I think he was going back to Pennsylvania. I think he was going to go to a new college. I think this was going to be his thing. I really do. I think he was going to go to another college and do the same thing.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I think that would give you away. You start going to different colleges and different people come up dead. But I think he would have definitely killed again.
Yeah.
If you got that type of anger in you, and I don't know. That would be I don't know. I've never thought about wanting to kill nobody, so I can't even imagine what was going through his mind to make him do something.
But you know what? It wouldn't have been hard, because if he never came up on the radar in Idaho and he went to another university and killed, he still wouldn't have ran up on the radar there either. And nobody's saying he would have killed at the same university. Remember, he did not kill a student at his university. He killed a student at a company, a nearby university.
Yeah, that's true.
So he may have killed somebody in Pennsylvania, in a nearby town of Pennsylvania. Maybe somebody unrelated to high school or his age group. We all believe he's committed crime.
I think so too. I don't think that was his first outing just like that,
Right.
So I from the very beginning, I thought it was a serial killer. When everybody was thinking it was the kids, I was like, man, this is.
And you were right. And you were, in all fairness, Dolly, I remember we were having conversations about that. And you were telling me your serial killer theory. And I'm like, well, serial killers are like 30 to 35, 40. And I didn't feel like he was that old, but you know what? To be honest with you, you get a lot right, Dolly, for
I
your
know. I
crazy ass.
mean, I just knew them kids didn't do it. It was too brutal. It not for a normal kid. Like most of the kids were athletes. They were college. They had good futures.
They
They
were
had
goofy. They were
girlfriends.
ding dongs.
Right?
They're idiots.
You, yeah, you
They're
gotta
not
be
mass murderers.
you gotta be more willing to throw all that away too.
Yeah.
And I just didn't see none of them kids that looked like they want to throw their futures away. And
They
I was
didn't.
thinking, this ain't the kids. This is something else.
Mhm.
And that was in my first. That just led me to, this is somebody bad. And that just led me
Yeah.
to the serial killer thing. I was like, normal people, this is overkill too.
Yeah.
Slap overkill. And I could understand it if he did it sexually, but he didn't. He did it just to murder.
Yeah.
You know, if he was there, I could understand that the want maybe the guys to sexually assault the women, but when you take that out and they just want to kill, like they wasn't sexually assaulted, they were just murdered. Serial killer. All right? Because most men that kill women, they kill them to sexually assault them.
Yeah.
Or in the process of sexually assaulting them. And when
But
you
I
take
still
that
think he
equation
got
out, you got
something
nothing but
out
a
of it.
straight ass killer then.
Yeah. I still think he got something out of it because his mentality, the whole purpose of the killing, I
I
feel like
agree that is sexual to him. His gratification he's looking for is in the kill, but still he's fantasizing probably why he's doing inappropriate things.
yeah.
You know,
He
where
definitely felt euphoric, I believe, but when he was I think he was in almost a euphoric trance when he walked past Dylan Mortensen. That's why I don't think he saw her.
well, with most
think-
dudes are thinking about naked women, he's thinking about stabbing women. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
He's
That's
thinking
different.
about blood.
Yeah, he's thinking of that excites him. You know, and that is just scary that there's people out there that killing you will pleasure them. You know, that's the world we live in. I know that.
Yeah.
There's some sick, perverted ass people out here. And
But you know what? It's those people that he killed. I mean, you know, we didn't know him before this death, but they were all so amazing and talented and just had the it factor. They had the looks, they had the brain, they had the brawn. You know what I'm saying? Like they all had such talent. These 4 kids were talented, much more advanced than we are. These children that were killed. I mean, they were amazing kids.
yeah, I mean, you got your psychos out there, your Ted Bundys that just want to kill, where it's just like, but I always think there's something more to it, like in their fantasies or something like this. They've done this in their mind before, and now they're just acting on it, you know.
Yeah.
And the dude's a sicko, and hopefully they execute him.
Yeah.
Bottom line, you know.
Absolutely. Well, great chatting with you. Nice.
All right, Betty.
You take care.
All right. Peace.
All right. Peace.
There you go, Bullhorn Betty. She said she called the PO. Betty ain't playing around. She's like, I called that man P. I'm like, damn, call the PO. I don't be calling people PO. I don't do that shit. But she confirms that, hey, he has to return. He got a piss in a cup. All right, Don, stop smoking crack now, and you be all right, okay? Dolly.
Hey, Dolly, this is TJ from Indiana.
Hey, what's going on in Indiana? Hey,
I was looking back to not much storms.
Can you give me 1 second? Let me grab me a drink. Just
yeah, no problem.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, no problem. I was going to say, a few months ago when all this started getting hot again, the Summer Wells case, can I talk about that, or are we just going to, it doesn't matter?
Yeah, you go ahead. Talk about Summer. We talking
Okay, I didn't know if you would. Yeah. Well, you mentioned something that got my attention because that kept bothering me, that shed too. And when this first happened, I was busy working on a case. So I told you once before, I'm a semi-retired reporter. My husband's still in the business up in Bismarck, North Dakota right now. But points is being this. So when you brought that up again, I was thinking, as a country girl raised here in Indiana, And one of the things that would happen sometimes, and I know everybody's going to blow up everything and think, oh my God, kids were beaten. No, but I know my mama, she gets sick after me, and so I'd go out there and wait for my dad to get home. Now, I know that sounds horrible, but my mom passed away in March, 95-year-old. She's a great woman, okay? So I wasn't beaten or nothing. But a lot of kids would do that. They'd go out to like little sheds like that. And I wonder if she ever did that, hit until her dad got home. Because, like if your mom goes off on you. So there's nowhere to really go.
Like it was your little hiding spot.
You were exactly. Because when you brought that, I'm like, oh, whoa, that's what kids used to do. I know many kids. A lot of times out in the country in Indiana back in those days, you even had outhouses. Like you use them for storage or something. They were old outhouses that were on your property. And so kids would,
I did what I wanted to do as a kid. I wandered, did all kinds of shit. I'm just lucky I never died.
Yeah, me too, right?
I'm lucky to be here. Like,
I'm telling you, right? I know. I talk about that with my grandson, my daughter, all the time. She's like right on top of him. I'm like, my God, well, I won't tell you what I say, but I'm like, he's got to grow up at some point. Let his balls drop. There you go. Grand's gonna say it.
Yeah.
Anyway, but so I got back into somewhere else because the good thing about me was I never really got into it real big. I kept an eye on it and I listened for things. And so a couple of weeks ago, I decided I went back through it because I had strep throat and I was sitting in the house all weekend. And there's a couple of things that I didn't know if you had the answer to. But first off, is these professionals, I guess they're body readers. Okay, there's 3 of them. I can't remember their names, but they did a thing, and you need to look it up because it's really interesting to go and look at it. But they're surveying Don Wells and seeing what they feel like if he's telling the truth, and by his body language and going back through video and all this. And to be honest with you, I left the whole thing thinking Don won. See, as a good reporter, what you start to learn in situations like you got with the Wells, if you be quiet long enough and have patience, you got to have patience, they'll start to tell you the story. And I think that maybe the local LE has done that, and I think that could be possibly why he's being called back. I think they might be just given enough rope to hang themselves. And earlier you said that Candace, now this is coming from a woman's point of view, you said that she gets enabled. See, I think that he controls Candace. I think Don's a control.
I think he controls her, but he enables her too.
Yeah, you're right. It can go both ways. It can go
before she gets her bottle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, no, yeah, that's true. But see, so that's the stuff I'm looking at. And the other thing is, I added up the other day, and I didn't add it up actually. That's I just called you because I just remembered it. But I was thinking when I watched, there's an interview that McDonough or whatever did. Did you see that one with that Hunter? He did that interview
that he did with Hunter did with Chris McDonough.
Yeah, on the porch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so right. So I hadn't seen that. I had never seen that. So I looked at that. And I was watching and Hunter bothers me a little bit. I'm seeing some things, but I know he's autistic and stuff and has that type of thing. But
he's autistic. He didn't know about him. When I seen him, nothing about him looked autistic to me.
Well,
he acts like a little gangbanger.
He's trying to be. I mean, a lot of these kids do that. But I'm listening to it, and then here's something funny I picked up on because you were talking about the timeline earlier, and you're on to something because if you catch it. They say that, okay, so he left around 8 o'clock because he said Summer was laying in the bed with Candace. So he leaves at 8 o'clock. But it's what you hear when Hunter goes with Candace and all them, they said the boys were with Dawn. They went to work with Dawn. So you're telling me and it was 45-minute drive. So he drove 45 minutes to his work. He's talking to Candace and Grandis, not while she's getting her knee checked on. They go out in this fishing place for a minute or whatever. So he comes home at lunch, brings the boys back 45 minutes, then drives back 45 minutes to his work. Okay. And a couple hours later comes home in 45 minutes. And you add that up. That's a lot of fucking time that's a lot of time on the road for.
But that's not what he's saying. I think the boys were left at home with no security.
I did too, Dolly, but I'm telling you, go look that up. It says it right there. And she said that, yes, the boys were with Dawn that morning. With him at work. I promise you, I went back and looked myself because I was like, wait a minute, did I hear that right? Nobody said that. And I'm like, wait a minute, how could
Hunter said that he believed that Don was at the house because there
was somebody walking around
messing with the boys.
Right. But see, okay, that's the weird thing though. But I'm telling you that Candace says in those interviews that the boys had gone with Dawn to work. That's what she said. I don't know. I mean, I also have to go back. Now you're making me doubt. Darn it. But I mean, but I know I went back and checked it because I'm pretty good. I won't say something unless I checked it, a
I
couple of
always
times.
thought they left the boys there by themselves. He went to work. Candace.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back and look at that. But if that's the case, because Don Wells does not remind me of the type that's going to drive 45 minutes back there, 45 minutes back, 45 minutes. And why are you doing that day?
Yeah, if he did that, then why would he come back? You know what I'm saying? Why would he?
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. So when you mentioned the timeline earlier, I remembered that, and I'm telling you, maybe I mean, of course,
he
I'm
didn't
human.
come on because Candace cooked him some fancy lunch. You know what I'm saying? So why?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. No. Home? Yeah.
So
I mean, it takes that for a lot of men. I mean, my husband drive back a damn hour and then drive back another hour and drive. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, you just don't. You don't do it.
I agree.
Yeah. So anyway, so you hit on a couple of things. I just want to let you know you hit on a couple of good things that you might want to check out. I'm sorry about this timeline thing, but you really got me thinking. I'm telling you, I heard that, but I will go back and double, triple check. But
when you do, let me know because I
okay, Dolly, I'll email you.
I'm pretty sure they left the boys there by themselves.
See, that's what I thought. Yeah, I know.
This boy, he's almost old enough to babysit. I think he's.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, heck yeah, I think he's like 13, 12. I mean, I babysat my
12
niece and
at
nephew.
the time. I think he was 12 at the time. Or something.
Yeah, I mean, they've been fine at home. I mean, and another thing you hit on, you're out in the country. Another thing, and it don't stop when I come home. Right now, I'm visiting Indiana. You go down the road, and then those country dogs, they come and running, and all the animals and everything. I just find it hard to believe somebody walked up there and those dogs, even just not necessarily attacking anybody, just causing a ruckus of some sort. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
you don't know the dogs. You don't know if they're going to bite you or not. Like even me,
yeah, exactly.
Dogs. I don't know if
exactly.
they bite me or not. I ain't testing their friendliness like that. I ain't gonna let them.
Exactly. Yeah, there's something odd there. I don't know, but there's a couple things you picked up on that's very interesting to me. So okay, well I'll let you go. I'll check in.
All right.
Thanks, honey. Bye bye.
All right. So yeah, I mean, they're in the middle of nowhere. Okay. Bad things happen in the middle of nowhere. It's just like the title, the Richard Allen guy. He was in the middle of nowhere on the trestle when he killed those two girls. You're in the middle of nowhere, and I mean, just kick the thought around a little bit of why did they go to that shed? Summer had been running them hills by herself. I do believe that. There's no proof of that. It's just my thought that she'd been running all around that shit. And let me tell you something about some damn dogs. They should have picked that kid up everywhere. She ran them hills. She's a little redneck country girl. She's on them swings. She's running down them trails. She's all over that damn place. Them people wasn't watching them kids. They wasn't watching none of them kids. So little Summer Wells was free to do whatever she wanted. Okay? She wanted to go outside, she'd go outside. She wanted to get on the swing, she'd go get on the fucking swing. I don't think she asked them much of nothing. It's just country life. And them, they're out there drinking, not thinking nothing's going to happen if they don't have nothing to do with it. They just out there normal life. Fucking let's party. Hell yeah. Raise a bonfire, right? Next thing you know, your kid's gone because you didn't watch, right? And you don't think nothing's going to happen ever. Nobody thinks nothing's bad's going to happen to them. Like I ain't sitting around thinking nothing bad going to happen to me, but that don't mean that's the case. Something bad could happen to me. It's always when you think, even I asked Brandy, right? Brandy knew. I said, did you ever think something like this could happen to you? And you know what she told me? No, of course she didn't. She didn't think nothing like this would ever happen in a million years. Now, I guarantee if you ask Brandy, do you think something like this could happen now? Right, to somebody, she would tell you absolutely. Watch your kids, be careful, and things of that nature, that this could happen anywhere, at any time, any place, no matter how nice their neighborhood is. You could think you have the best neighbors and everything. Take your eye off your kid for one fucking wrong second in this world, and something bad can happen. I mean, you take your eyes off adults in this world these days, and something bad can happen. I mean, it ain't just kids that go missing. There's teenagers that go missing. There's damn grown-ass adults that go missing, men and women. Okay, there's dudes that just one day leave and never come back. You're like, damn, you think it's that only women got to worry about, crazy ass people killing them? No, men. There's killers out there that just kill dudes. Crazy world. Dolly.
Hey, Jimmy, it's Nancy.
Hey, Nancy.
I want to tell you two things.
All right.
Okay, first of all, when Betty just called in about Kohlberger, okay, Vinnie Politan had a special on, a couple days ago. And he went through a story where this kid murdered his parents and tried to make it look like somebody else. Okay. So this could have been like 20 years ago. It happened. So Vinnie Politan interviews this kid. He got life. And you know what this kid says? If he had it all over, if he had it to do all over again, he'd wish for the death penalty because general population is killing him. So this is one thing I want to say. Don't wish Kohlberger to get the death penalty. Number one, they're like in a separate part of the jail, from what I understand. They're treated like royalty, right?
Yeah.
Right. So they're separate. If Kohlberger couldn't even stand his aunt and uncle cooking in the same pots that meat was cooked in, I wish for Kohlberger to get life, because think of it, Jimmy.
The misery.
Pardon me?
Just the misery of it.
The misery. But wait, didn't that drive you crazy the other night to be getting eaten or bit by mosquitoes?
Hell yeah.
Okay, think of it that way. Kohlberger is they usually kill, I think they get like 20 years before you get killed, or
Yeah,
whatever.
it takes a while if they ever execute you. A lot of times
right.
they do.
Okay, so wait now. Think of it. How old is he? Is he in his late 20s?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember exactly how old he is.
Okay,
he ain't very old.
Right. He's under 30. Just say he's in his 20s. Okay. If they killed him in 20 years, he's only in his 40s, right? But if he gets life, what if he lives to be 70 or 80, right? And every day it's going to be like getting bit by mosquitoes. He's got to look over his shoulder every day for the next 50, 60 years. That's punishment.
They're saying he's 28, 29 years old.
God bless you. God bless you. So see what I'm saying? So people shouldn't be so eager to say, get the death penalty. No, let that effort go in general population and have to fight off, all
the crazies. Let them go to gladiator school.
Yes. That's justice, where he's going to be miserable, or they'll pull a Dahmer and hit him with a lead pipe because somebody in prison has nothing else to lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're in there for life. What do you care? Okay, that's number one. Number two, I wanted to just bring this up. With Summer Wells, I'll make it quick.
Okay.
I was starting to look at their personalities because I'm trying to figure out these people and where our little Summer is. Don, somebody in your chat one night asked, why did Don bring the oldest boy out when he gave that interview on the road?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay, here's my idea. Don is all about show. Don wants everybody to think he's the big holy roller to cover up that he's really a dirtbag. Candace doesn't really care because, number one, I could never live in a house like that. And yet Candace let Chris McDonough come in the house. And when she turns around and she's going to go down the stairs and Chris says, oh, you want me to go down there? She's like, yeah. Candace doesn't really care what you think of her. This is just my opinion.
Let me throw this out there before I forget. The thing about Don and the boys is when Don, it seemed to me he kind of put the blame on the boys a little bit, because in that interview he said the boys were supposed to be watching their sister They were playing games and their sister went missing. You see the little boy drop his head.
Yeah.
He was upset about, I didn't watch my sister.
It's shameful.
Maybe that added a little credibility to what they were saying, because it looked like the boy was generally upset about, I didn't keep an eye on my little sister.
Right.
Or they've put this blame on those kids and made these kids feel like they should have been watching their sister. Maybe they didn't even see their sister.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I just want to throw that out before I get. Go ahead.
Well, okay, but look at when Don, go back to when they were in church. Candace is in a red hoodie, slouched. Now that's supposed to be the house of God, right? Candace is slouched like she's sleeping. Don's sitting there in his shirt with the top button, his hair's brushed or combed. So that's why I think Don is all about show, and Candace doesn't give a hoot what people think of her, which brings me to Grandis. Nobody ever asks in that one picture with Grandis. In Grandis's trailer, there's a picture of Summer holding one of the dolls from the Disney movie, that Frozen movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
The doll is in the box. Where's the doll? Right? They take a picture of little Summer holding the doll like Grandis. Oh, Grandis is so great. She gave Summer a doll. But when Summer went missing, there's no doll in the house. So my idea is Grandis is the control freak. So when Candace and Grandis are at home, and Candace, oh, we're planting flowers. Grandis, she had more to do with it. I think Grandis is like the puppeteer. When Don isn't around, and if we all agree that Candace can be manipulated, Grandis was pulling the strings.
Possibly. You might be right about that.
See, where is that doll? It's like they got a picture. I think the whole thing was planned. See, we disagree. I think the baby was sold.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what we agree on is that Summer's no longer here.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that I believe, I know we don't want to get into the psychic stuff, but I do believe Donna on the one point when she said Grandis was the one. It all goes back to jealousy. Grandis is the one that said to Candace, you could solve all your problems if you got rid of her, Summer, the baby. Because Summer, Don even said, Summer ruled the house. Summer, everything was blamed on that little girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if Candace now is going to drink herself to death, it's, number one, it could be guilt. But I just think Candace can be manipulated, because if that happened to Candace, if all that happened to Candace when she was young, you know what I'm talking about, all the essay and all that, I think Candace is frozen in time as far as her emotional growth.
Yeah, she's like a teenager.
Exactly.
She's like hanging out with a 16-year-old.
Yeah, but then I think there's part of Candace that comes out. She'll take so much and then she lashes out. And I think if her mother said, Candace, just get rid of that baby and everything will be great. Well, it isn't great.
I don't think Candace really has a lashing out personality. Not that I've seen. You know what I'm saying? I don't.
Wasn't there?
I mean, I think anybody can probably go from 0 to 100 pretty fast. And maybe I wasn't in a situation where I would see that, but I didn't get those vibes from Candace that she's a violent person. I just didn't.
Not violent. Just I'm not a violent person either. But if you push me into the corner, I'm going to fight back. And that's part of her, like, passive. Anyone who's passive can be aggressive at the right time. Now wait, you just
But
made me
what
think of
if
something.
Grandis was like, just to point on what you were saying, if Grandis
Okay.
was like, Summer is the problem.
Yeah.
How could Summer be the problem though? What would be the logic, and what problems could they be having that Summer?
Well, Jimmy, look. Number one, Don is saying, "Oh, she was my baby." If something weird was going on with him and Summer,
Just because he was saying that's my baby, I call my kid's 22. I'm like, that's my baby. She came over today. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm going that phone call where Candace supposedly is calling 911, and you hear her say
he's hurting my baby.
Trying to, yeah. See, she was maybe getting to the age where he was being attracted. He was attracted to her.
Yeah,
See?
maybe that's a lot of rumors on the internet. I know that to be the case. I've heard that a lot.
Okay, so that's with Don. But wait, what if Hunter said on the day that Summer went missing? What if Hunter said, "Boy, Summers really looks cute." It's got it to me. It's jealousy, because isn't that what high school girls? It was always about Well, I remember being in high school. It was if she's stuck in that high school mentality, Candace not only was jealous of Don, but she was jealous of Hunter.
Hunter says that too. She says, "I think Candace did this out of jealousy."
See? Yes.
See, y'all just have a different vibe. Man, look, everybody, I just disagree with y'all, but y'all have the same right to y'all's opinion as I do. I mean, you may be right.
I'm just wondering, and for Grandis to get off,
get the vibe. I really don't get the vibe though of Candace being jealous of Summer. I get the feeling that she's crushed, and no matter, I think she knows, and that's why she's so tore up. And I honestly think if Candace wouldn't go to prison, she would tell. I think she wants to tell. I honestly do. I think she wants somebody she trusts enough that she can help her carry that burden.
Okay, now, but I don't agree with I don't agree with this. That one girl called Candace to become her friend, and then turned around and she wasn't her friend at all. She was trying to get information, and on the one phone call, that girl is talking to Don, and Candace the voice is different, Jimmy, in the background.
Yeah, I
can
tell this to Candace, just in case she's watching. Candace, you tell me where that baby's at. I won't tell on you. I will never tell a soul you told me. Tell me where the baby.
Who said that?
You? I will. She tells me what I won't never tell on her for telling me. Just tell me where the baby's at. I won't tell nobody how I found her. Tell me, Candace. I won't never.
Well, wait. Maybe, why would Don say they'll never find her? I think Don might know where Summer is. I don't know what Candace says.
I know. I'm telling Candace. Don ain't never telling. I'm telling Candace, you tell me, I'll never tell on you. I'll just go get that baby.
Oh.
Make sure she has the proper whatever. And I won't never say who told me. Give you my word. Never testify against you in court. Nothing. I think it's important. I think it's more important because without her telling, we may never find the baby. It's just like that movie, I think, that show on Unsolved Mysteries where they had to offer dude 7 years because they wasn't going to find her. They wasn't going to bring closure. And the only way it was to work a deal with the people.
But Jimmy,
unless it's work a deal.
Don't you think it's weird that Donna Serafina would say somebody's going to go to jail and they're going to talk, and that's how they're going to find Summer? And who winds up in jail? What's his name? Hill. Fred Hill.
Hill, yeah.
It's weird. It's weird. Maybe he knows something, and I'm just wondering. And I don't agree with whoever typed in the chat that they're never going to find Summer. I think they will. My gut feeling is
eventually
they're going to. It's going to. this isn't going to go. We're going to get to the bottom of it. It's just going to take time because Jennifer Koffendorfer, the FBI agent, said, and I told you this
She's former.
Another time I called in. Pardon me?
She's former FBI, ain't she?
Former FBI. She said the only way for it to go cold is to stop talking about it. And the fact that people keep talking about Summer, I don't think it'll ever go away. I don't think we'll ever stop talking about her. Because Don, they keep acting like fools, which they're keeping the story alive.
Well, damn, in the true crime community, 20 years from now, we all be dead.
Well,
you'll be allowed to talk about it.
I don't think it's 20 years.
We better start that for our kids because I'm gonna be dead. I'd be lucky to get 20. Okay.
No. Okay, wait. Let's see if ask the chat. Here's my gut feeling. I'm thinking by the end of, I want to say, wait, this is only June. I was going to say by the end of 2023, we're going to find out what happened to Summer.
That would be.
Do you think
great.
that's too soon? 6 months?
That would make my year for sure. I'm going to celebrate the day we do find out, you know?
Yeah.
And
because I just think it's odd that Fred is, and he said they want to do a polygraph test, right?
He's full of shit.
On him.
He's full of shit.
Well, okay, but even liars tell the truth. What is that about the broken clock? Yeah.
It's right twice a day.
Right. So I'm not going to write him off so quick because he might get desperate and he might say something and then that'll get the ball rolling. You know,
I think so too. But of a dead person, just blame it on a dead man. That's what everybody does.
Well, I don't know who I don't know who you're talking about with that Cotton. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he's a dead guy. He's dead.
Okay. And I don't know anything about it, but the fact that Don's being pulled back and Candace is going to be on her own again, see? And Fred's in jail, and I'm thinking, we're going to start getting this rolling again. That's my feeling. That's my feeling.
Here's the thing about Candace is when Dawn goes to jail, she's just going to go stay with one of her friends. Her friends love her to death. Well, I know her friends. They think she's covering it up just like I do, but they love Candace to death. They just honestly do. They love her.
Do they really love her, or are they like that girl that?
I don't know. I just tell you what the people tell me, and she be staying with them, and they love them some fucking Candace. I don't understand it. They think she's guilty as hell of covering it up. They don't think she's just like me. They don't think she did purposely did it, but they think she did it, and they like Candace. They ain't shy about saying they think they love her to death. I don't know no other word to tell you what they tell me, but they like the shit out of Candace and they think she did it.
Well, I'm not a fan of Candace, but I don't agree if somebody's pretending to be her friend to get information.
Here's the thing is what Candace is the sober Candace. I think it's the people love. The drunk Candace, I don't think that's who they're talking about because these people, when Candace comes to stay with them, she has to follow some set rules. You know what I'm saying? And she can be over there sloppy ass fucking drunk. So they're experiencing Candace when she's sober, just like when I experienced Don when he was sober. I was like, hey man, Don's a pretty cool dude. I can hang out with Don, shoot the shit with him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But you put some alcohol in him and he's I couldn't be in a room with him because I would end up in a fight with him. You know what I'm saying? You'd say something, I'd just get mad. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So he is a different person drinking, and so was Candace. Both of them.
So when you met them, you went in person, Candace wasn't drinking around you?
Mm-mm. They were sober as a judge. So 100%. What didn't even smell like alcohol. Didn't have no alcohol around.
Yeah, why?
I don't know. We met.
Well, was it during the day? Where'd you meet him? Yeah. During the day?
I met him at a restaurant, and then we sat down and talked. Okay, we sat down and talked. They invited me back to the hill, and I was like, all right, I'll meet y'all at the hill. Then I rode out to the hill,
Yeah.
Went up on a hill, hung out with him. I mean, a pretty good while. Like, in
You were inside that house?
huh?
You were inside their house?
Yeah.
And they weren't drinking?
No,
No?
not a drop. Not a single drop. I can get
Well,
up here
then,
and cry and
Jimmy-
say, yeah, man, they had liquor bottles everywhere. No, they wasn't. They was sober as a judge. I mean, probably more sober than me.
Well, then too bad you didn't get them all liquored up and get them to talk.
They don't.
See,
Them people
No?
make more truth serum than anybody on this planet and have never told. I think you got better odds of getting something out of them sober because they might slip up. Drunk, they seem to be on their game.
Oh,
You know?
yeah.
But no, the honest truth was no, they wasn't drinking. And if you met them sober, you would be surprised at the difference in what you see on the internet. I was like, I had pictured just the worst people in the fucking world. Okay. I had in my mind when I walked up there, you know, look, I can say now they're not the greatest people. They ain't the worst people in the world. Okay. They might be, and I don't know. I may be wrong. Something tragic happened and they made a bad decision. That's really what they've done.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And she has to live with it, you know, and she cries. From my understanding, she cries every night. Every time I've ever talked to her, she's crying. And what kind of life is that to live? She has to live her decisions.
Well, that's why I typed in chat. I think it's going to eat her alive.
And just think about this. If you really loved your daughter, okay, and maybe it's some dysfunctional love, but you dysfunctionally loved your daughter and your daughter's gone. And no matter what you do, it ain't no bringing her back. You're going to be crushed. You know, she has to live with that. Like I said, is she not being punished for her crime right now? I believe she is.
But Jimmy, wait now. Look at it this way. I know being a man, it's different, but try to picture if somebody was abused as a kid and into their teens, like they said Candace was, right? Wouldn't a normal person would protect a little girl more? Something's wrong.
When you were abused, you would protect more because you know what's out there. You know.
Well, they said that her uncle, Grandis's brother, went to jail for 23 years for being a moron. So something happened with Candace because that's why she's stuck in like you said, like a teenager. When Molly and Betty and JR went to Tennessee, and the cashier at I thought it was a store, said that Candace was so mean to Summer. The boys got a treat, but Summer couldn't have a treat. That just made me think something's going on there. Candace wasn't protecting Summer. She was like punishing her for being a girl, or you know that story I'm talking about?
Yeah, I heard about the candy stuff that they wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't.
Why couldn't she have a treat?
I don't know how much of that is real and how much of that is internet rumor. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Because you got to remember that we're getting information on the internet. He said, she said, information, and maybe there is some truth to that. But then there's always a possibility that there ain't no truth to that. You know.
Well, that's what made me believe the jealousy, because I thought, how could you give 3 kids a treat and the little one doesn't get a treat? And then Don says, "Oh, I brought her jewelry all the time," or I brought her favorite, or I brought her something. And I thought, something's going on. Something like psychological is going on with all of this. See,
I mean, it's possible, and I could just be totally wrong. And she hated this baby for some reason and been jealous of it because Don liked her and paid her more attention.
Right. There you go, Jimmy. Don is getting back at Candace. See, that's evil. He's going to use a little 5-year-old girl to make his wife angry and jealous. You see, that's sick.
But
See,
let's just say she is jealous, but he's not intentionally trying to make her jealous.
Oh no, that guy. I believe it. I think after we're hearing stories with him and the stepsisters, he's sick. He's a sicko. You know, I think you can be a PEDO, and then you can be a PEDO and be a sicko, you know. Just like with Koberger. I heard somewhere on the internet that stabbing motion, the in and out, that's sexual.
I mean,
see, somebody who thinks of that? That you're going in and out.
I mean, anybody that gets, I mean, you would have to say every stabbing was sexual then if the in and out motion makes it.
No,
sexual.
only the Koberger. See, he's the what do they call those? Their involuntary abstinence. What's that? Where he's like abstaining, but it's because nobody wants him. That's why.
Oh, I forget.
You know that.
The incel.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Only to an incel is that stabbing motion sexual. Somebody else is just stabbing somebody because they don't have a gun or wait. I don't want to get off. I don't want to get. I'm sorry. I'm getting off track.
But look, anyway, I appreciate you calling. I'm not too far from wrapping up. So you have a great morning. I don't know where you're at. So it's morning time here.
I'm in Illinois. Yeah.
Okay. So
you know where I am, Jimmy? I'm the great state of Illinois where you can be dead for 20 years and still vote Democrat.
You can still vote. Hey, you know.
Okay. Nice talking to you.
All right. Peace.
Okay.
Rallies at a graveyard because the dead be voting. I don't know. I don't get into a lot of politics. To me, it's two horns of the same goat. Okay. I'm more a fight the power kind of guy, you know. That's why I don't do politics here. It's all the same. They all buddies and shit. They be golfing together. What? Like, do I believe y'all really enemies that one's going to do a better job than the other in this country? I don't. I mean, it's all he said, she said, news clip here, it don't, as long as it don't change my life too much, you know what I'm saying? Just like I told the FBI, I ain't got a dog in the fight. You know what I'm saying? They didn't lock my ass up. You know, he's like, all right, yeah, he must be telling the truth. I told him, I was like, man, I don't give a fuck who the president is. He's like, you sure? I was like, yep. He's like, you got any affiliations with any groups? Nope. I told the FBI I wasn't even a damn member of the YMCA. I said, bro, I ain't even a member of the YMCA. I'm a YouTuber. I was like, I ain't affiliated with no groups. I don't got a cap gun. Okay. I don't care who the president is. I don't care who the vice president is. I don't care who the mayor is. I don't give a damn who the governor is. I don't care who your boss is. Okay. I don't care about none of that shit. Not one drop. All right. They were like, well, you need to be concerned about your safety because somebody called the damn FBI on you. I was like, okay. But when they left and then locked my ass up, I was like, yes. I did my little happy dance. But let me tell you this. When the FBI rolls up on you, when they ask you a question, don't lie. Every question they asked me, they knew the answer to. I don't even know why they asked me the questions. They knew. And then after I told them the answer, they told me they knew. They said, oh, we know. You also own this YouTube channel. You run this YouTube channel. They do the YouTube, the videos that I uploaded. They knew everything. They knew everything. Right? I was like, I'm going to jail. Right? That's my only thought in my mind. And when the dude told me he was special agent with the FBI, right? I don't know if my brain started to buffer like a computer. Okay. I don't know, but something went wrong because the first time he said it, I heard everything he said. I heard exactly what he said. He grabbed my hand. He said, I'm special agent with the FBI. And I was like, what? He repeated himself. He didn't need to repeat himself. Honestly, he didn't. I heard it perfectly clear the first time. He said, I'm agent so-and-so. And this is so-and-so from the U.S. Marshals. So it wasn't just FBI. it was the FBI and the U.S. Marshal showed up at my house. Okay. And I was like, damn, I'm going to jail. That's the first thing I thought. I was like, I'm going to jail. This shit, when he grabbed my hand, okay, when I opened the door, he said, I need to speak to you or something. And I still had my hand on the door. I kind of went to step out the door. And as soon as I got almost out the door, he grabs my hand. That's why I thought I was going to jail, because you ain't going to grab me to talk to me. You know what I'm saying? That's weird to grab me, like I'm going to run or something. He as soon as I kind of opened the door a little bit more, he reached out and grabbed my hand. And he kind of like guided me out the door. I don't know what else to say. I was like, oh, I'm going to fucking jail. Right. So he was like, where was you at on this date? What was you doing there? What was your intentions of being there? What did you see when you got there? Was there any police? And I just answered all their questions. And he was like, all right, deuces. And I was like, deuces. They never came back. Okay. So whatever I did, they knew what I did. It was on video. And some of them people that were doing things there that day, and this deals with the Capitol building, was crazy. Okay. I went there that day to film because I knew people were going to act crazy. Sometimes in this world, when people are going to be nutty. Okay. You just know, certain protests are going to go down. There's going to be crazy stuff that happens. And I wanted to videotape it for YouTube. Okay. I was like, okay, this is going to go down. I'm going to be there live. I'm going to videotape it for YouTube. Little did I know that was going to lead to the FBI, the U.S. Marshals, everything showing up at my house. Okay. But I didn't break any single laws. I told them, I have everything videotaped. They told me they knew, they'd seen it. Okay. They had seen what I videotaped. Okay. And they wanted to know more about what I had witnessed, I think, than anything. Right. At first, once they cleared that, you ain't broke no law. You ain't going to jail kind of thing. They wanted to know about the police presence and what I seen, like far as security or any people trying to control the crowds or anything like that. And, I just told them basically what I seen. I had, like I said, I had no dog in the fight, so there's no reason for you. But I was thinking, they're about to arrest me for trespassing. And that's what I thought I was going to go to jail for, trespassing. Right. But I was in a parking lot. So I was thinking, how are they going to arrest me for trespass? I'm in a parking lot. There ain't no trespassing signs. You know what I'm saying? There's a million people there. There's no trespassing signs. Now, I never went on the steps of the building. I never went in the building. I did videotape people climbing the building. Right. And I took all the videos down because I don't follow politics. Right. It's not like I wasn't there like pro-Trump or anti-Joe Biden or anything like that. I was just there as like media to film it. And the scary thing is I had a microphone. And I don't know if that was a good move or a bad move, but I'm taking it was kind of a bad move because I had an actual like media microphone with me. And people were coming up all like fucking aggressive, wanting to see the mic. Like I was with CNN or something, right? Like and not only that, but CNN's all their equipment was crushed and broke all up. I'm talking cameras that are like $50,000, $60,000 cameras. I was walking over them, crushed on the ground. I was like, man, that's some bullshit right there. I'd like to have one of those cameras that are tore up, right? Microphones crushed, everything CNN had, or any news that wasn't, I guess, right-wing news, they destroyed all their shit. Right. So I kept having people coming up trying to see who I was with. I'm like, yo, I'm a YouTuber, man. I'm a YouTuber. And they're like, all right. But if you would have been like a media person out there, it was not really a safe environment for people on the other side to be videoing. Nobody did nothing to me about videoing, but the only thing that drew attention to me was the microphone. And they kept thinking I was with like some news I wasn't supposed to be with because I had my face covered up. Right. So they thinking I'm CNN or something. You know what I'm saying? So I kept having these big ass dudes running. I'm like, what news you with? What news you with? I'm like, I'm a YouTuber, man. I'm a YouTuber. Right. So it was a lot of that. So It was a scary situation. People act nuts. I think it's like when you get too many people together, that crazy mentality takes over, and people do things they know they shouldn't do, right? Just, I don't know if it's showing out or showing off, but they would do things that you would normally wouldn't do. Like, you look at somebody like, man, this person wouldn't be normally just climbing a building. You know what I'm saying? But today, for some reason, your ass is climbing a building, you know? So I videotaped a lot of that. I still have the videos. I was thinking about turning it into something one day, but I took everything down. One, you know, the FBI had already seen it, so it wasn't really no reason to taking it down. But YouTube was giving a lot of hard time on videos and stuff like that. But I had some super good interviews out there, and I just had to tell y'all this. I only interview people that were dressed crazy. Okay, like one dude was dressed like Chuck Norris. Okay, and he had a big Bible, but he was dressed like Chuck Norris. So I interviewed him. There was another dude that was dressed up like, I don't know if he was dressed up like an old Civil War person, but he looked like Captain Crunch. Okay, like actually Captain fucking Crunch. Right. So I interviewed this guy. There was another guy there that looked just like Boss Hogg from the Dukes of Hazzard. Okay, looked just like Boss Hogg. I'm talking about the cigar, everything. So I interviewed this guy. And you remember the guy on the news with the fucking horns that sat in jail? I think he's still in prison or in jail. Remember the dude with the big ass antlers? Okay. I was going to interview him, and I was walking right up on him, but my cameraman was slacking. Okay. The person that had the camera, and I had lost him in the crowd. So I was there where he was at, and I was going to try to run up and talk to him on camera and shit, because he had the crazy ass outfit on, because I was trying to just get the people that were dressed crazy. Right. But my camera person was slacking, and they wasn't there. So when I ran back to get the camera person and came back, he was gone. Okay. And that's the dude you've seen all over the front page, and the guy that's went to fucking prison. But they should have never went up in that building. Never. You know, it caused that girl her life. I was there for all that. I watched him. I literally watched him take her body down them stairs, run her to the fucking ambulance on the side of the thing. I'm talking about bulletproof vehicles. The military that came up there to get that girl when she was shot. It was something like out of a fucking video game. These people that ran up, they would have shot anybody in the crowd. When they pushed through the crowd, this wasn't like the police. This was like the motherfucking, we done sent black ops in. You know what I'm saying? Because they wanted to retrieve the girl that got shot by the people at the damn place. You know? What is that, the Capitol building? I don't even know what the name of the building is. That's how much I know about politics, right? So, but I did watch all that transpire, and that was pretty crazy. But I watched it from a little bit of a distance. I wasn't right up on it, but I could see it going down. I was like, that's insane. That was a horrible mess. I was a little late, okay? Because apparently, and I'm glad I was. This is one time that sleeping in probably kept me out of jail, right? Because like I told the FBI, I was like, look, when I got there was no police presence. There was people fucking climbing the building, right? The police were just, they had everything blocked off, but they wasn't stopping people from going up there. Like the city police, they wasn't doing nothing, right? But I was late, and we got off the subway late. So we get off the subway. We were a couple hours late. By the time I got to the Capitol building, all the barricades were gone. Okay. Everything up there was gone. There was no more barricades. The police present was none. I didn't see any law enforcement. Not any. The only place you could see law enforcement on top of the building, they were standing on top of the building, like watching down on the crowd. You could see the police on the top, but that was it. That was the only police presence you could hear. And every now and then you would hear like from where I was at, it sounded like a smoke grenade or something going off, like I don't know how you disperse a crowd. Like, I don't know what the hell they call them damn things. I don't be in riots. You know what I'm saying? I don't usually go to riots. I don't usually, you know what I'm saying? I don't get involved in that fight the police shit. You know what I'm saying? So when I left that night, I get back to the hotel, And when I get back to the hotel, I get to see what happens before I got there. Okay. Because before I got there, that's when they were out there fighting the place. See, I missed all that. I never got to see any of that. When I got there, they were just climbing the buildings and things like that. And I started videotaping. And then were the videos that I put online. And that's what got the FBI and the U.S. Marshals called on me. Tear gas. I don't know what it was. You know, I don't be going to shit. I couldn't believe it. You know, I'm one of these people. I'm standing back like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? I'm just videotaping as much as I can because I knew for some reason, I was like, I want to be a part of history, but I don't want to be a part of bad history. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't mind being there for something awesome. Like, you know, I don't know, but being there for like something so tainted, you know, part of history that's going to be remembered in history. I don't know. I don't think that's a good vibe. I was like, Jimmy, can you turn on your super thanks on your videos? Sometimes I have to rewatch. Did I have my super thanks on? Yeah, I can turn it on. Ain't no biggie. Thank you for your donation. Awesome. And I got your order. So I got a bunch of orders out today. As you can see, all the shipping stuff behind me. I've been packing and shipping today. So we've been getting out the Dolly soap and all your orders. Now, listen, guys, I made a little mistake on something. Okay. Don't execute me. When I shipped the Turtle Gang bracelets, okay, I threw them in an envelope and sent them out. Apparently, when I threw the stamp on it, I didn't pay enough for the shipping. Okay. So some people have gotten the bracelet and the post office wants you to pay for shipping to get it. I swear I shit you not. Like $3. If anybody brought something from me and you ran into that, and it's only on the little Turtle Gang bracelets, okay? Because I threw them in a regular fucking envelope and mailed them. I thought you could do that, okay? I honestly did. I didn't know that was a big deal, okay? So I threw the bracelets in the envelope and I mailed them, and apparently it cost more than the stamp. So they're telling people they owe them like a couple bucks to get the fucking bracelet. So if anything like that, that's only on a couple of them because most of them I threw in with your orders. Say they were in the regular big bag. They all went through. But some of the ones that I put in just in an envelope, they got stuck. And if that happened to you, hit me up. I'll refund your shipping and everything like that on the bracelet. I don't want nobody to have to pay nothing extra. I just didn't know it was a mistake on my end because I threw them in a regular envelope. Okay. I didn't think it mattered. Why do I got to send it in some big ass? I didn't think it mattered, but apparently it does. I didn't think this bracelet weighed more than a damn letter. I don't know how that is possible. You know what I'm saying? Does that look like that weighs more than a letter? I mean, if I put paper in there, it's going to be that heavy. I don't get it. I don't get what the big deal is. And somebody wrote me and was like, yeah, I had to pay for shipping. I was like, what? They were like, yeah, like you put a 75-cent stamp on it and it's $3 to ship it. $3 to ship it. Right. And I was like, it fits in a fucking envelope. But if something happened like that, or you ain't got it, let me know. Okay. Reach out to me at bestsoapinthegame@gmail.com and I'll take care of it for you. Okay. Sorry guys. I didn't know, I'm new to the shipping things. I thought it was all the same. If it fits in the envelope, you can send it, but apparently that ain't the case. Did anybody know that? Or if that happened to you, press 1 in the chat. I didn't know, have no clue. That's the first I heard of it. I was like, what? But if that happened to you, I'll refund your shipping and things of that nature. I can do it right through Shopify. Just let me know. And if you pay by credit card, they'll just put it back on your credit card. One, did that happen to you? You had to pay to get the bracelet? I thought it was insane. I was like, what? And they were like, yeah, the post office put a little pink thing on there and it said you have a package, but you owe, I think, $3 in shipping. And they were like, we done paid for shipping. Right? But you did. But I put a fucking 75-cent stamp on it, put it in an envelope. Right? because I put it in a big package. And this is what the holdup is. Okay. Just a little mistake on my end. But anybody runs into that, I'll refund your shipping. So then whatever the post office wants is like $2 or whatever. Pay them the $2. I'll send you your money back, and you get your bracelet. Okay. I mean, but most of them got through because I've seen people posting pictures of them, and maybe there's just a couple that didn't. But I do want to address that. If something happened, just let me know. And I got a few left, so I have to replace some of them. I left a few on the table because we're almost out of them, just in case there was any. I was like, all right, let me take a handful of them just in case anything goes crazy. So just let me know if you had any problems, and I'll do my best to take care of it for you. All right? So it don't cost you nothing extra. I spent $10 on a Las Vegas t-shirt, and it was $16 to mail it. LOL. Yeah, I mean that's when it sucks. I still have a few of the mystery boxes. So if you ordered a mystery box from me, which is a mystery box, I can't tell you what's in it. I haven't shipped those out yet. It's gonna be like a few days because we're adding some things to the mystery boxes to make them a little bit cooler. So be patient. If you ordered a mystery box, they're going to be coming out to you. But it's best to wait because I want to add something to it. And I'm waiting to get it done to add it to it. So if you wait a little bit, you'll have a better mystery box. Okay. For people that ordered mystery boxes. What's up, Spinderella? I'm excited. Awesome. Look, I'm going to get ready to get out of here, guys. It's 5 a.m. and my allergies are going crazy. I think it's this soap. It's all these different scents behind me. It's making me have to sneeze and rub my nose and rub my face. That's the one bad thing about making all the soap. It's not bad when it's just one smell, but when you get like 5 or 6 different scents, like, and you're smelling like apples and bananas and every damn weird ass smell you can smell, and you got a big ass beak like this, it starts to drive me damn crazy. But anyway, guys, make sure if you haven't, like the video. A good way to keep Dolly alive is hit the damn join button. Okay. Me and Lolo got to eat. I'm hungry now. All right. So keep Dolly alive. Join up. If you haven't, the sale goes on for a few more days, I think. Half off all soaps, body washes, lotions when you use promo code F the haters, all capitals, all one word, F the haters. Buy dollysoap.com. All right, you can get my t-shirts, all that stuff. Mystery boxes, if you get a mystery box, it's gonna be a few days before I ship those out, but once I get them complete, I will ship those out. And I'll see you guys later today. I will be back probably around 8:30, around that time. I'm gonna be doing some other true crime stuff, so tune in and I'll see you guys then. Peace.